Live Sport. Talking football with Bill Young and Ali Graham on Rock Sport Radio.
Okay, it's Wednesday, it's Talking Football. We're halfway through the week. Don't forget, you can listen to the programme on DAB Digital Radio. If you're on your way out to a match, listen to us in the car. You can listen via your smartphone using the TuneIn or the Radiogram app, and you can do that the same thing with your smart speaker. You can listen online at rocksportradio.co.uk, and while you're watching the game for 15 minutes till we finish, you can still watch us on Facebook, Twitter, what's the other thing? Periscope. And YouTube. Yeah, I said Facebook, didn't I?
Did you?
YouTube. Yeah. Look for Rock Sport Radio Official if you want to watch it on YouTube. How's your rib? McCabe was giving you pelters last night. How did this happen? I know you were playing for Dukla Pumferston, but how did it happen?
Well, I actually went to the game, Bills, with a swollen ankle and a sore left hip. Wee KB knows all about the hips because he's had about 4. So I'm thinking I'm next. And so I'm trying to protect everything. And we're playing well. Me and Big Kenny Brannigan playing at the back. He done the corners away. And the next thing I know, I'm up against the post and I've got a clatter. And I played on, mate, for about 20 minutes to go. And it was getting sore and sore. And then Saturday morning, I got up and I done my wee bit of work. And I come back and I couldn't move. And that was it. I think with these things, physios tell you better when you get an impact. You know, the kind of blood rushes to it and kind of protects it a wee bit. So I was no bad. So obviously once it...
Sorry, got to laugh.
Once it's relevant doing it, it's just been... honestly, I'm not kidding you.
Is this it now? Because you keep telling me every week you come in, and
guys will know
you're aching all over and stiff as a board, and you say to me, that's me done.
Guys run about my age out there that are listening and run about their kind of 40s and that.
That still think they can play.
I'll think that they can still play and your mind's telling you can. And I said to a couple of guys the other night there, Bill, I said, you know what, I'll play with this. I'll just try and, before the rib, my hit and that. And by the way, I may say that, I told you that Livingston's Park was absolutely fantastic.
You did.
Surface.
You did. You told me.
And you know what I'm like with these parks, and we've heard them all talking about them, right? This, because they've got rid of the black bars. So it was actually like grass.
Right.
The ball rolled on it, you could ping it.
They probably left it like that because they knew it was you lot. They'll be back on. They'll be back on for the weekend. Don't worry.
Make me laugh. I told you no. But so I said to the guys, I just want to play, and when I'm ready to come off without being sore, I'll come off. Did it work out? Didn't it? No. Don't make me laugh.
Can you hear this, Darren?
I'm listening in here.
Darren knows exactly where I'm going with this one, I'll tell you. Oh, it's agony. But there you go, I'm too old, Darren. I'm just too old for it now.
I feel that way as well. I'm a same trainer. I try and get a wee bit in every now in training, but you end up not doing yourself justice.
Too young.
It's made my night. I've got to be honest with you. It's made my night because there's not a week goes by that he doesn't come in and say to me, I was playing 5-a-side the other night. See my knees, I see my hips, I see this, I see that. Now he's busted a rib. I mean, what's next? A split nose or something?
Well, Darren, you can tell, Bill. It's the football life's taking its toll. 6.5, 700 games of football. You forget you're getting a pounding, and don't forget when we were training. Well, I'm a wee bit older than you, Darren, but when you were training as well, you get stuck in it training. Listen, I don't know. Darren will be able to tell us if the players still get stuck in now.
I'm not being funny. I never played anywhere near that and only played semi-pro. But you see my feet. My feet, I have to wear these daft old men's shoes. Although I'm a daft old man, I have to wear these daft old men's shoes. I went to my auntie's funeral the other week. It was the day you were in. And I had to put proper shoes on. See, by the time I took them off,
I told you to stop wearing high heels with Darren.
But I like it.
Yes for that one, mate.
Darren, how are you?
Yeah, all good. Everything's going well, so can't complain.
Do you want to thank me? Because remember when you were at Albion Rovers, every time I spoke to you, you get hammered by somebody. And I was thinking about phoning you last week, and somebody said, "Don't do that, for God's sake." What a great result you had! A goal down, coming back to win 2-1 against Morton. That is a really good result. And I have to say, Hugh Burns and Paul Hegarty tipped you on Friday night.
There you go. They know their stuff.
No, they don't.
We've had a couple of results in the cup teams in the Iron Cup and that as well. And we played Partick. It was the same. We beat Partick 2-1. We beat Queen of the South 2-1 as well. And again, we've managed to beat Raith Rovers twice this year as well. So it's been a great season. That's kind of 5 full-time teams we've managed to beat. So long may it continue.
I take it then you don't have any real fears about facing the Jags in the Scottish Cup then?
I mean, it's going to be a harder game and all that. I mean, we've already beaten them, but they've got a big turnaround, and Gary and Banker have obviously brought in a lot of players and turned it around there, and the results are starting to pick up. I mean, I look at their stats of the game on Saturday, and had 32 shots against Stranraer, so I mean, we know it's going to be a lot harder than it was the last time, that's for sure, but at the same time, we'll go in there confident the way we have with every game this season and see where it takes us.
Still in 2 cups, obviously, Darren, and I remember speaking to you earlier on in the season where you were talking about kind of trying to get the consistency into East Fife. Do you feel as if you've kind of hit that with the runs? Because you're sitting third in the table now and you're sitting in a really good position.
Yeah, no, we had a good run. We had 8 wins in a row. I think that was the first time in 57 years the wee guy with the stats was telling us, and then we've obviously managed to beat Raith twice. I mean, we hadn't beat them for 31 years, but they've beaten twice in 2 months, so that was great as well, especially for the fans and everybody connected with the club. It's just, yourself, and you kind of do these, get these results and put these performances in, especially your derby rivals. It's great for them to get their bragging rights, but they're now sort of 7 games we've won 5 and drew 1 and beat 1. So it's again, if we can kind of keep this wee run going, and the consistency has been there. We kind of chopped and changed with personnel, but the squad's that good that you're not actually lessening or weakening your team. It's somebody with a different attribute, whether he's got pace or whether he's got trickery or whether he's whatever it may be, finisher, defensive midfielder. But everybody kind of comes in and plays a part, and it's been great. Is
that what you've done then, Dan? Is it a kind of squad thing you've said to the players then? Because usually you find when guys stick with a tried and trusted, they hit a kind of run, but as you're saying there, you've kind of broke it up. Do you look at other teams as well where you change your formation slightly?
Yeah, we did. We'd been going through the wee phase. We beat a couple of games, and it was actually we've been playing 4-4-2, and that was when we won that sort of 8 game run, and everything was going great. And the only thing we were kind of chopping and changing every now and then was the 2 strikers, just depending on the opposition. But then I think teams maybe became a bit wiser and they put an extra midfielder in, so we kind of started to lose a wee bit through the middle, and then we just kind of changed that, and then we managed to get back on top and start to score, because they're very good at passing the ball, they're very good to get on it, and when you hear the fans mump and moan once or twice about, it's one up front and all this and all that, well, that one up front, we've beat XYZ, we one up front, and then the 2 up front as well was the times when we were going through a wee sticky patch. So again, you know yourself, it's you know what you're doing for a reason, and when you're changing it and why you're changing it, and all these things have kind of paid off. And Saturday was great as well. It's 2 sort of set pieces. It kind of worked very well. The wee short corner and then the wee one where the guy stands on it, and they fell for it, and it ball across the face of the goal, and it's one each. And then the second one was just the opposite. The guy goes short and you put it to the back post, and then it falls to the guy, and you get the goal there. So it's great that you know yourself. It's not always that these things pay off, but when it's a Scottish Cup tie, then again it's great to get through to the next round, and for the fans and the chairman.
Absolutely, and we were speaking last week, we're actually speaking about Jim Goodman, how good a job he's doing, Bill, where the part-time teams playing against full-time teams in their league. And what happens, Dan, as you know, you usually find that it's the full-time teams that have got more time to work on set plays, corners, free kicks, etc. But you've turned Morton over with your set plays, so I mean, to find the time to do that, it's a credit to the club and to the players.
And to the manager.
Yeah, to the manager, absolutely.
Come on, credit where credit's due.
Well, sometimes they don't listen to the manager, they're always listening to Darren.
I know everybody plays the way you used to play.
What, just get it up the park?
No listening to the manager. Jimmy Nichols said that last week when he was in.
Exactly. But honestly, you find that, Dan, don't you? I mean, it's like the full-time teams work on all these things, and it's great that part-time teams really... Because you probably felt sometimes that this might be our only chance, working the set plays where we maybe can get a chance to score a goal.
It's a Thursday night, usually for us, is when you do it. And we have set pieces that we've kind of worked on throughout the season, so the boys kind of knew, and you just kind of emphasise to them, look, this is why we're doing it. This will work because X, Y, Z. If you do this, you'll take him out of this position. And again, it's just kind of quickly going over the guys that deal with the set piece and then just get the guys in the middle to finish off. So again, what could work any better? And it was great.
Brilliant.
Darren, it's one of the times a year where, especially when you're a club like East Fife, where every penny's a prisoner, and you have to make decisions whether you stick or twist. Have you got a fairly settled squad? Have you lost anybody or brought anybody in?
We've lost one, but Scott McBride. He's a player that's done well for even County Albion Rovers. and they brought him back in. He's been fit all season. He's done really well for us, but he's probably not played as much games as he'd like. And again, he got a good offer in Cove, and Kelty Hearts were after him, so he got a good offer for them. He's getting like a guaranteed 1.5 year deal. He's getting married next summer, so it gives him that wee bit of security. At the same time, he's been great for us in and around the dressing room, no problem. He's one of these guys who always works hard, and when he gets his chances, he goes and he takes it. Another one, maybe boy Craig Thompson might be leaving as well, so there's a couple of teams interested in him. He's not played anywhere near as much as he should have. But again, that's down to the guys in the team who have been playing very well ahead of him. So he's kind of found himself out in limbo. And again, we're not going to kind of stand in anybody's way if they're going to go and get game time. And that situation, we're obviously looking to maybe bring another 1 or 2 in just to kind of cover that. But as a squad as it is, it's great if it stays fit. If that's just that way, if you get 2 or 3 injuries, then you're like, oh no, we need to get that extra body in. So it's, we can look to try and maybe get another loan in.
You've actually brought up a very good point, which Ali, you'll know about anyway, being at East Kilbride, and it's interesting you said Kelty Hearts, and I think it was Cove you said. How much pressure does that put on you as a manager, knowing that the Highland and Lowland League teams that are the bigger hitters in those leagues can actually come and make attractive offers to players that you would be looking at?
Yeah, there's players. I know there's players on these teams that are on more than our guys, our top paid players. I mean, that's without a shadow of a doubt. And there's the same in the league below as well. There's guys with very, very good money, and again, you just try. I don't know. For us, we've managed to bring over the last few years, bring a lot of younger guys through, and guys that maybe gone on and played full time. I think we spoke about this the last time I was on. And again, we've got young goalkeeper Brett. You've got Aaron Dunsmuir. There's a young big striker Anton Dowds. He came from Edinburgh Uni, Heriot Uni thingy, and young Kyle Bell came from Rafe Rovers. And it's again, there's loads of guys there that are. It's been a real good mix for young guys who will maybe get an opportunity and a chance to, if they go and do well, then they'll go back full time. Whereas the older ones who kind of know that they're settled, they've got good jobs, a bit of stability, they're maybe married, engaged, kids, so they're kind of knowing that they go back full time and it's not really worth it because the money's not quite there at full time. Whereas the younger ones who've got a wee opportunity to maybe go and kick on and do better and get up the leagues, then it's there for them. So it's been a good mix and a good blend.
And obviously sitting in a good position in the league. That brings to my next question, obviously, about the cups. We touched on them earlier. Is it a bit, sometimes you think to yourself, we're playing Partick Thistle, we're also in the Challenge Cup against the Bohemians. Where's our priorities? You know how teams and managers devalue some cup competitions. It must be difficult for you having a smaller squad where you're in a good position in the league now, Darren. You're saying, but I know what you want to do, but sometimes that might be pretty difficult to carry that out.
I know it is. We've spoken about that as well, and it's not like you're trying to prioritise certain ones over certain games over others, but the situation you're in, you're kind of sitting third now, you're 2 points ahead of fourth. If we've got the cup game after Stranraer, so depending on how that result goes, when we play the cup game, I think we'll get maybe one other. We've got it's the quarter-finals of the cup against Bohemians, so you miss a league game that weekend. Then we've got the Scottish Cup against Partick, so you're going to miss a league game that weekend. If you beat Bohemians, you then get the next weekend where you play Ross County on the Friday night, so we'll be going 3 weeks without a game in the league, and that's, as you know, you're 2 points ahead of now, you could be 7 points behind, so then you're playing catch up, so you're then playing 3 midweek games somewhere along the line, and it's a hard one because you want to, your success, you do very well, and you get the success, it's great, but at the same time, it's been able to manage that and keep it going, and as much as you're, don't get it wrong, you're probably the same as yourself, you like to play rather than train, you prefer to be playing every week, but I think obviously the demand and the thing nowadays, it's hard, especially with part-time players who are 95, and then there's certain guys are going to have to get time off their work or take a half day depending on where the game is and who you're playing.
It's not only that as well, Bill, because he's built up a kind of head of steam, they've got a bit of momentum, as Darren was saying. So
absolutely.
You get into these cup games, you're playing catch up. And I'm not saying they're going to win the whole lot of the games, but
the problem you've got is obviously people want to see you do well in the league, and you want to progress up to the next league. But fans also, and I'm a great believer in this, I must be honest with you, Darren. Fans love to see good cup runs, and their imagination runs away with them. But when you get to the quarter-finals of the Challenge Cup, that's a real possibility that you could take some some silverware.
Yep.
So the fans' expectations kind of drive you as well, and they don't always understand, do they, Darren? You know, that you have to make a decision in where your priorities lie.
Especially if you've got a smaller squad than some of the teams, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it. You just kind of, we'll take each game as it comes and we'll kind of set up accordingly. But at the same time, we'll all be having to kind of freshen it up. And if it's going to be a big ask for guys to play Saturday, Tuesday.
Yeah.
But again, that comes with success. And if you want to be successful, you've kind of got to deal with that. It just means you ease off when it comes to training. But at the same time, you're then limited in how you can prepare for a game, because you basically play Saturday. We wouldn't be able to meet up because you'd have the game on the Tuesday. Then you're basically training Thursday, game Saturday, and then it'd be the same again Tuesday. So you're basically playing 2 games without really any going over anything really. I'll maybe speak to the captain and maybe put a few things through the sort of WhatsApp or the group sort of text thing. He'll kind of send that out, and but it gets harder. But at the same time, you want that because you're doing well.
Darren, is your form fairly constant home and away, or are you playing better at home, better away? What's the kind of ratio like at the minute?
I think it's even. I think in the league, it's the league games. It's even. It's identical. I think it's something like 6 wins, a draw, and a defeat, 5 defeats or 4 defeats or something like that. So I think it's the same: 6-1-4 or 6-1-5, something like that.
Well.
But, so it didn't. That's what it is. I mean, the games that we've lost, a lot of it's been kind of individual errors, and we kind of know that it's mistakes from ourselves. I mean, if you look at maybe Arbroath, we kind of watch most of the team's highlights every week when they sort of come up on Twitter and things like that. But Arbroath don't make mistakes. When you see their goals, there isn't the guys either scored a penalty, maybe it's a set piece or it's a worldie, but the goals that they're conceding, there's like a short pass back, or somebody's been dragged out of position. They're kind of relentless, and the less mistakes you make, the better chance you've got of winning.
I think that reflects in the league, the goals against anyway, Darren. I think they've lost 18, so I mean, that's fantastic, isn't it? Scored 31, obviously a different story of 31, so... but when you look at the league table, and you look at, we were speaking about the Championship last week, Bill, where the last 5 games, you know how they highlight it, the kind of the win, loss. Well, you're actually sitting pretty decent at the minute, and you go to Stranraer on Saturday, I believe, who have lost their last 3, Darren, so I don't want to put pressure on you, but the form you're in, you've got to fancy your chances going down there.
Yeah, I mean, we beat them down there earlier in the season. Pretty even game, and then we get the first goal, and then you manage to kind of hold on and get the victory. But there's got 2 ways. You down and go and attack them. Do you go and kind of sit in a wee bit and kind of force the issue, because they're obviously, you're looking at it saying, well, they're kind of need to beat us, they're under pressure. Do you maybe look to be a bit more defensive? But it's things we'll speak about tomorrow night. We're going to training and we watch their highlights for last week and speak to the scouts. So there is, it's like you go and if you can go and attack and you go and make an arse. So you go and make a thing of it.
You've already said arse. Don't try and cover it up.
And then you get the other side where you go and sit in and then you make loads of goals. But again, it's again for us, we'll try to get back to making sure we get clean sheets, and if you get clean sheets, then you've got every chance of winning it, because the players that we've got on the park and the players that we can bring on can all make a difference to the game, and it's great to have that. It's probably kind of the 5th year now I've been kind of player manager, and it's probably the strongest squad I've had with regards to being able to bring players on who can make a difference, and actual players that are starting. So great for me.
I mean, looking at the league just now, it's kind of interesting, because even if you're down to 6th place, so the playoffs are kind of being hotly contested. Even if you go down to 6th place, you're only talking about 11 points between Montrose and Raith Rovers. But when you look at yourselves going down there, Montrose 7 points behind you in 6th place. So, a wee run of 2 or 3 games, and somebody can be out of it and somebody can be in it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I know. That's the thing. That's probably one of the most important games for us this season. If we can kind of beat Stranraer, and it still gives us that. I mean, out with the other results, it gives us that wee sort of cushion, and I know 4 for our way to Arbroath. So I mean, ideally, you're kind of looking for an Arbroath win and kind of keeping 4 for away to us.
I'm glad you said that there. I'm glad you said that, Dan, because I ask this question all the time, right, to managers that are now starting to get to the wee nitty-gritty kind of bit of the league where they go, or players even, because I used to do it when I used to come in and go, How did Hamilton get on? You're wanting to get beat because you know yourself that I know managers always come out and they say we just need to take care of our own thing. That's okay in the first quarter of the season, but see when it starts to get after Christmas, I think it's then you're looking over your shoulder, looking above you to see who can catch or who's catching you.
Yeah. Well, that's it. And one of the reasons as well is just because we could go 3 weeks without a league game. So we're saying if we can get this victory and it gives us a wee cushion, even if we do end up 2 or 3 games behind, it still gives us that wee cushion with the midweek games against these other teams, because it doesn't matter who you are, midweek games can... I mean, it might, because we're on a run and we're doing well, then and everybody's fighting for their place and everybody's coming in. They know that if they don't perform within a couple of weeks, then you're back out the team and somebody else is taking a chance. But at the same time, we've had guys who have done well, scored goals, and then they're saying, well, look, you're sitting on the bench this week because we're either going to go with the 1 up or the 2 up, or depending what formation we're going. But none of them kind of split the dummy, so that's the thing. There's no any big times and there's no guys who have any airs or graces. They're all kind of in it together. And when they score goals, and you can see at the end of the game that they're all there celebrating, and it's great to see. Makes my job easier.
Darren, one quick question, if I may, as well, just which is a totally unrelated thing. You know about the meeting that happened in Perth last week between the officials, the SFA, the SPFL, and managers. Jim McIntyre was quite vocal, I believe, that managers from the lower leagues weren't represented. Sorry, Jim McInally was quite vocal about it, saying that managers from the lower leagues weren't represented. I'm hoping I'm going to get Billy Brown on tomorrow and talk to Billy in his position with the League Managers Association. But this is something we've been talking about in the office for the last 2 or 3 days as well. Surely that isn't a good thing. If you're talking about the game, then you have to be all inclusive about the game, surely.
Yeah, I mean, you've got to be bringing the whole Scottish football on, just be at the top end. Because at the end of the day, these guys might be down here, or these guys might have started down here and worked their way up. So for guys like myself and that, then we kind of want to be in it and kind of hear what's happening or what's meant to be happening and how they look to progress and push forward. So it's a bit disappointing to hear that.
Are you better mannered than the guys in the Premier League, do you think?
If the ref gives the right decision. Everybody's the same. You'll have wee bits and bobs during the game where you're kind of biting your tongue, then I think it maybe gets to the second or the third decision, you're like, right.
But I think that makes it all the more important why you guys should be represented as well. And I mean, they've got this. I don't know if this is the case but you see the way that it's been represented. They're talking about Lenny's going to be part of this working party. Fraser Wishart, I think, is there for the PFA. And then there's obviously going to be people from the refereeing world and the SPFL and the SFA. And that's what I wanted to talk to Billy about tomorrow, if I can get hold of him, is about, I'm sure that the League Managers Association should be represented there as well, surely.
Yeah. Yeah, well, they do it with the what you call it, the PFA. I mean, you've got the sort of players PFA, so you've got like a club representative of every that's all the way down the league to the part-time teams, and then you've also got one guy kind of representing every league as well, if you know what I mean. So but it's just you'll have like somebody for the Premier or somebody for the Fourth Division, one league doing the Championship, and then on top of that, I'll maybe have 1 or 2 other guys. But there'll always be kind of one guy from the leagues just representing the players, and again, they can go back to other representatives and say, right, this is what they're talking about. They're trying to do this, they're trying to do that. One of the things that they've kind of changed there, which is good and bad. Good for the players, not so much for the clubs, is changing a 42-week league sort of payment to 52 weeks now. So now part-time players get paid over 52 weeks, which has been it's good for the players. Don't get me wrong, I'd like that in my day, but from now when you're trying to work out budgets, just this year and the end of last year, it was quite a hard changeover because you've got young guys coming out for full-time teams used to getting paid 52 weeks, and you're trying to say to them, you're not getting £200 a week because it's now 161 because that's what it is, split over 52 weeks, and they're like, well, what do you mean? And then you're trying to explain to them it was meant to be 42 weeks, but it is what it is, and I think it ends up kind of pushing the club's budgets up a wee bit because of that, because you need to try to pay this, and if you don't, then somebody comes in and invariably takes it off you.
Another question I wanted to ask you to get your view on. I've been told this week by a fairly reliable source in my mind that this League 3 is definitely going to happen. Not next season, but the season after. And that will be 4 teams from the Lowland League, 4 teams from the Highland League, and 4 Colts teams. What's your thoughts on League 3?
It's a bit of travel there. But again, it's going to be a hard one. You've got, depending the teams that are in it, you're going to be travelling all over the place. Don't get me wrong, you're wanting as many teams in there as possible. But at the same time, I don't know. For me, the Colts thing, I'm not so sure about the Colts thing. I don't really know about that. It's not really. And I know they're in the Irn-Bru Cup and that as well now. But again, they're just sort of trying to spice it up for me. But I don't know. We need to wait and see how kind of that one turns out. But are they kind of pushing it just for the sake of doing it, or I think we only know when the actual things. Yeah, because you're daft things like travelling and going to the Highland League teams, and you're not really you're stopping them from coming in, but you could have Stranraer travelling away up to wherever it may be, Broda or something like that.
Yeah.
And what's that? They need to be staying overnight.
I think one of the things that's been made very clear when it's been discussed is that the finances must be there to support it properly. But I'm told that it is going to happen, so I've got to assume that the finances are there. And I know the Colts teams that are pushing it particularly are Celtic and Rangers. But I hear that Hibs may not be interested in being involved, and maybe another couple of other bigger teams might not be interested in being involved. So it is going to be an interesting one, it really is. Yep. Listen, good luck for the weekend in your trip to Stranraer. Thanks for being on with us as always, Darren. Always nice to talk to you, and good luck for the rest of the season, mate.
Good luck, Dan.
Perfect. Cheers, guys.
Cheers. Bye-bye. Darren Young, that's East Fife manager, talking to us tonight. Your thoughts on the League 3 thing before we get Willie Lyle on from Auchinleck Talbot?
I think...
Have you heard the same thing, by the way?
Yeah, I have, and I think it's the Rangers and Celtic are pushing it so that they can keep players, younger guys, playing at a decent level a bit longer. So
that's one of the things I've heard. I believe from what I'm told, one of the Old Firm clubs, and I wasn't told which one, were desperate for it to happen next season, but it's highly unlikely it will. What that'll do is free up the top 6 or 4 or 6, whatever, in the Lowland League and the best teams. Well, I think it'll make the Lowland League more competitive because you're already starting to see that separation in the Lowland League, like you see in all leagues. Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah, absolutely. So, beneficial or not, we just need to wait and see. Just need to wait and see with that one. But it'll be nice to see some young players at Rangers and Celtic playing for Rangers and Celtic, and maybe staying there longer when they maybe get shown the doorbell, so... Yeah. All right, let's move on to our next guest, victorious captain of Auchinleck Talbot at the weekend. What a result. Always knew it was going to come to something for Auchinleck. I did say that on Friday night when Mr. Hugh Burns and Paul Hegarty went in the side of Ayr United. I didn't think it'd be a victory, but I did think that Auchinleck might get back to Somerset Park, but they took the game by the scruff of the neck in the second half and came out victorious. Willie Lyle, the captain. Willie, have you got over the celebrations yet?
I just did it.
What about Tucker? Is he over them?
Oh, Tucker was. I think Tucker went home and didn't say much. Tucker didn't. Nothing. Didn't. He was just quiet, so he was quiet. Home, let the boys go and have a wee drink and celebrate the victory. I've been doing there many a time, Willie, when Tam McDonald used to be doing there years ago, and I used to get into the club and things, and it's always a passionate place. What was it like after the final whistle on Saturday? Oh, it's unbelievable, to be fair. Yeah. The fans are brilliant most weeks, but obviously Beechwood Park, 3,100, and the village was unbelievable on Saturday night. So it was, and it was brilliant. Well, what is a victory like that, a high-profile victory like that, Ayrshire Derby, against a team from the Championship? All the components are there to make it a great day, but what does it do for you as a club at Auchinleck, a game like that and a victory like that, and getting to the next round? To be fair, it's not really sunk in, to be honest. I think obviously the committee, they'll be happy with it financially. It's great for that, and from that point of view. But as players, it's honestly it's not really sunk in, to be honest. It's a massive achievement, massive.
There's always a sting in the tail with these things, and I think I'm right in saying, and correct me if I'm wrong, was Craig McCracken not at Ayr United at some point as a youngster? And then to come and score the winning goal. You couldn't write it, could you, really?
I know. I travelled with Craig, and he came in loan from Ayr United to us 2-3 years back, and then eventually came permanently. But I think he left in good terms in that. But obviously, it's great for Craig to score the winner.
His name will be mud in Ayr now.
I'll tell you what, Wally, it's good to see a guy actually, kind of go off his head a wee bit after scoring it. You see these prima donnas now that score against their old club and they don't bother their backside when they score, but to score in that fashion in Oak, Ayr United do obviously, and before you even knew you were going to get Hearts in the draw, must have been fantastic for him.
Definitely, as I say, I think he left in good terms and all the rest of it. But at the end of the day, Talbot pays wages now, and he's quite likely he's went and celebrated the goal. As anybody would, well, anybody should.
Yeah, I'm right in saying as well, a few years ago you actually got Hearts away as well, didn't you, in the Scottish Cup further on in the round when you get through?
Yeah, I think that was about 8 years ago. I wasn't actually at the club. I think there's only 2 players left still at the club that played in that game. Andy Leishman and Goldman Pope, and on the day I think they were extremely unlucky. There was an own goal, a goal disallowed at the end for offside. It wasn't offside, but as there was only 2 players left since then. But
everybody happy with the draw, player wise, at Auchinleck?
Yeah, well, it was either Old Firm or Hibs or Hearts. You want that big club away. Obviously, they played them 8 years ago, so it's another great day for the club and the fans.
What kind of support would you take through there, Wally?
Well, as far as I'm aware, don't quote me on this, but I think they took about 7,000 through the last time they played. So,
right, so all the robbers are doing to Auchinleck then?
No, pretty much.
No, all the robbers are away to Tynecastle.
No.
Superb, brilliant, mate. That's mad. 7,000. So I've been to many. I've been to many a Junior Cup final when Auchinleck have played in it. I mean, is this just as exciting for the fans getting to this round, or can you beat a Junior Cup final?
Well, I can't really speak for the fans. Obviously, Saturday was massive. It was brilliant for us. Fantastic achievement. But there's no trophy at the end of it, if you know what I mean. Of course,
yeah.
It's obviously a great scalp, but like last year's cup final, they 4-2 in injury time to win it. I enjoyed that better, if you know what I mean. But the fans will love their wee day at Tynecastle, that's for sure.
Absolutely.
And of course, it's another cup weekend for you in the Junior Cup. Rutherglen Glencairn, you've got them at the weekend. So things are moving along a pace for you.
Definitely. I think we're now 8 games behind in the league, which is no ideal. Obviously, we've got the Junior Scottish Cup on Saturday, so we've been in training last night and back in Thursday and get our head focused and ready for that Saturday.
I mean, I've got to absolutely take my hat off to guys at the top level of the junior football. But I never played that level at junior football. Right? I never played junior football. But Wally, I mean, I can remember going down to watch games and it was like, because you're that successful in the cups, Bill, your league games build up. You're playing 3 games a week.
Well, how many times have Auchinleck won the Junior Cup? Is it something like 17 or something?
No, 12. 12 times.
12 times.
Aye, tremendous.
What a record.
12 times. I think the closest to that's 5 or something like that, 5 or 6. But 12 times we've won it. So it becomes it's expected, if you know what I mean. Every year you're expected to go and win the Junior Cup. So
you see, winning on Saturday against Ayr United, does it put the club under pressure with all the way that people are talking about reshuffling the game with a Lowland League 2, with juniors going into the east of Scotland? All this stuff that's been talked about, where people are saying, the juniors could be on the last knock-ins here as we know it. Does it put extra pressure on teams like Auchinleck, who may not want to be part of that, when you beat somebody like Ayr United, where people say, well, look, you can beat a championship club, you're good enough, this is it, da-da-da. You know what I mean?
It possibly does, but as I said, the club, I don't know if interests them, obviously, having to maybe go to Elgin and things like that, and missing out in local derbies against Cumnock and Glenafton, etc. There's pros and cons to it, I suppose, and obviously the committee and that will make the right decision if it comes to it. But for me, I really don't know. I really don't.
No, and that's what we're talking to Darren Young about, obviously, as well, when I was asking Willie there as well, the amount of games, Willie, where you're going to have left, because you are very successful in the cups, every cup you get in for.
Aye.
There's a lot of pressure on you as well, because as you say, you're expected to win these cups.
Yeah, definitely. It seems to be every year, obviously when the clocks change, we've not got floodlights, so obviously when the clocks change and the late nights come in, you're playing Saturday, Monday, Wednesday, Saturday, so you're playing 4 games a week, and it's the plus obviously boys have got their own jobs and that, which is not ideal, but I suppose that's what comes with success. If you go in good cup runs in the Scottish Cup and obviously the senior Scottish Cup, you're going to get games cancelled on a Saturday. So
listen, Liam Telfer's a Jambos fan. He says, well done to the boys at Auchinleck. Have a good day at Tiny. If you can beat Ayr United, you can beat anyone if you play with the heart you played with on Saturday, and that's from a Jambos fan. So listen, good luck for the weekend against Rutherglen. Good luck when you face Hearts in the 5th round, and good luck for the rest of the season, Willie. Thanks again for coming on and talking to us
Willie,
tonight.
all the best, mate.
Cheers, thanks again.
Not a problem. Thanks very much.
There you are, Auchinleck captain Willie Lyle talking to us. It does put a bit of pressure on, I think, successful junior clubs to be able to resist any change.
Well, the Lowland League thing you're talking about.
Well, I'm talking about just the general way. The general way that if you get, if you look at it now, a lot of junior teams have, if you like, bailed and gone to the East of Scotland League. They're talking about a West of Scotland League possibly, and now they're talking about a Lowland League too, which I believe is not imminent. You know, it's something that's been talked about, but it's not at what you would call a serious stage.
Well, I think it's something, Bill, that the Scottish Football League would be desperate to get these teams into because of the support that they generate.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody in Auchinleck supports, and it's only a stone's throw away from Cumnock, so everybody in Cumnock supports Cumnock, everybody in Auchinleck supports Auchinleck, so all these junior teams are the same, and by the way, they're probably getting 12, 13, 1,400 down at their games every week.
Liam's just been on there saying Auchinleck need to get into the Football League, they've got more fans than Hamilton.
Well, a lot of people don't want to go down that road.
Can you imagine if they took 7,000 through to time?
7,000?
Can you imagine that?
That's amazing. St Johnstone never took that to Scottish Cup final. 7,000. I mean, that's incredible. Absolutely incredible. And they're passionate. They're dead passionate. I mean, I told you a few years ago I'd done the Auchinleck Cumnock game that was front page.
Yeah.
Because the horses were on the part and all that.
I know.
They were all getting stuck in, but I'll tell you, they're passionate about they support their club. And I think, me personally, I think it'd be an absolutely welcomed addition to the SPFL 3 or whatever. But there's guys down there that are just set in their ways, as Willie said, in their junior club. So you've got to respect their decision if they go down that way.
Would you, if SPFL 3 comes about, which I'm told that is definitely going to happen, when that comes about, would you move then, or would you invite? I'm not saying move, although it may be one of those things where the options are limited. Mm-hmm. Would you invite people like Auchinleck, Glenafton, Cumnock or Pollock or somebody like that into the Lowland League, the bigger clubs?
Just down for that area?
Yeah.
Well, what about the other mob, like Les Mahago, Curtin Rob Roy's, or these kind of teams? There's a lot of teams out there with big supports.
There is, but it's not about just the support. You've got to look at the teams that are, and this is a horror story that football is today. You've got to look at the ones that are well managed, that are successful, because if you move them up a league, then what you end up doing as well is you end up making the juniors more competitive.
Yeah. Because
you look at every league, Ali, you can't get away from it. Every league you have a top 4, 5, 6, totally, depending on which one of the leagues it is, that are always going to be dominant.
Yeah. But you've also got to look at the parks, their stadiums.
Well, that's right, because
that has to be moved up a grade as well.
Well, that's right, because as Willie just said, they haven't got floodlights, so they would have to have
turnstiles, things. I know most junior clubs have got that sort of a thing, but that had to be upgraded. There has to be upgrades made at these parks, and if they're going to make it beneficial, they have to give the money for somewhere. Bill, are the Scottish Football League going to make that available to these teams to upgrade them. That would need to be something they'd need to discuss. But I'm all for it if these teams, because I think, I've always said to you, Bill, see some teams, by the way, well done Kilmarnock this season for putting bums on seats, Stevie Clark and whatever, end of last season, because there's nothing worse than watching a football match and the stadium's empty and it's going out all over Britain. I don't like that. Imagine these games, look at that game on Saturday there, where the crowd were all round, there was at the wee stand, and there was 3,300 there or something.
Something like that,
I mean, fantastic for the village. So, yeah, made it a better game, made it more interesting, made it look like a real cup tie, instead of some of these, 1,100 at New Douglas Park, whatever, Hamilton against St Johnstone. I mean, I'm all for it, so I hope something can work out, but I think some of the juniors will maybe just want to stay junior.
OK, listen, we've got reporters out tonight at John Brodie's at Killie against Rangers, Brian Rayburn's at Hearts at Dundee, Bob Smith, Hamilton against Aberdeen, and Peter Hay at St Johnstone against Livy. We'll catch up with them around about 7:25. Ali and I will be back in a minute to look ahead to the fixtures tonight. And 7 o'clock tonight, Mark McGuigan, who must again be a bit like Wooly, over the moon, scoring the equaliser for Steny against Aberdeen in the Cup. The replay is next Tuesday at Ochilview, so we'll talk to him at 7. We'll come back and we'll look ahead to some of those fixtures tonight here on Rock Sport.
Scottish rugby is on the up, and Rock Sport Radio is following this resurgence by bringing you The Line Out every Wednesday evening from 8. Lewis Stewart has one of the best contact books in the business, which means the people who really matter in Scottish rugby give you the latest news and gossip on Scotland's most trusted rugby radio show. Get into the action with Lewis Stewart and The Line Out, Wednesdays from 8 p.m. on Rock Sport Radio. Love music, live sport.
The Trossachs is probably one of Scotland's best-known tourist areas, attracting people from all over the world. The Aberfoyle Inn is small and friendly and perfectly placed as a gateway to the Trossachs. Our 10 newly refurbished rooms offer comfort at great prices. Kick back and enjoy great food and warm hospitality in our bistro, or enjoy a drink, choosing from a wide selection of beers, wines and spirits. Whether soaking up the scenery or just relaxing, call us on 01877 382 573 or book online at aberfoylin.com.
If you enjoy the occasional flutter, Rock Sport Radio have now teamed with BetVision, our official betting and gaming partner. Enter a world of gaming that you won't believe with a fresh visual style. Find out more at rocksportradio.co.uk and see what BetVision is all about. Rock Sport Radio and BetVision, a brand new name in the world of gambling. Please gamble responsibly. Over 18s only. And remember, when the fun stops, stop. For more, visit gambleaware.co.uk.
A great social event starts with great entertainment, and City Sound Entertainments are suppliers of mobile discos, DJs, race nights and fun quizzes. We also hire sound and light rigs. In fact, whatever your entertainment needs, City Sound Entertainments are there to ensure your event or function is a time to remember. Working to your requirements, City Sound Entertainments make sure things go exactly as you planned. Give City Sound Entertainments a call now on 0141 347 1960 and check out the website citysoundentertainments.co.uk.
Love music, live sport. Talking football with Bill Young and Ali Graham on Rock Sport Radio.
OK, talking football, don't forget, pretty much a full Premier League ticket tonight.
Yep.
Let's give you some information that we've got. John Souttar on the bench tonight for Hearts. It's been a long season for Hearts in terms of their injuries, and there's a certain irony about this one tonight, of course, as they've got Dundee at Tynecastle. Souttar's on the bench, so he's obviously making a recovery. Naismith won't play because he's suspended. You can't catch a break if you're Craig Levein and Hearts, can you?
No.
You get one back and you lose one. It's one of these daft things. So Souttar on the bench for Hearts tonight. Celtic team news, no Boyata. Burke will lead the line and Lustig back. Talking to Murdo on Monday, I don't know if you heard that, Ali, but Murdo said that he wasn't impressed with Buck leading the line. He didn't feel it was a natural kind of game for him. And like you said, they sat very deep. So he's one of these players that likes to run off the shoulder.
Absolutely. And the deeper they sit, the more difficult he'll find it because he has to run in behind. I mean, it's like, Leicester, I was speaking to the Leicester guy last week, Vardy.
Yeah.
And the style of play that Rodgers wants to play, Ranieri won the league because everybody came out to attack Leicester. They just lumped it in behind for Vardy to go on and win it, and it took about 3/4 of the season, Bill, for them to realise what Leicester were doing, and by that time they'd built up ahead of steam and went on and won the league. So Buck's the type of player that has to run in behind. Don't get me wrong, if he picks the ball up his own half and they're holding a high line, he can get in behind still, playing a wee 1-2 with somebody or a ball through. But the deeper you sit, I don't think he's clever enough to get in the back of defences because you're running out of space. He needs the space to run it because he's a big, strong lad. And I think if teams come and attack Celtic, I think that'll be to his benefit because he can get in behind then.
Yeah. Let me tell you what the Rangers team is. Have a listen to this. No Connor Goldson tonight. McGregor, I believe Rangers are going 4-4-2. McGregor, Tavernier, Worrell, McCauley, Halliday, Jack Davis, Arfield, Kent, Morelos and Defoe. Here's one for you. Jack Davis, Arfield, Kent, midfield. That is a strong midfield in anybody's book. And two strikers going to be Morelos and Defoe. What's your thoughts?
I wonder what one will be the kind of, because I think.
Would you? Sorry, I'm not being funny here, Ali, and I'm sorry to butt in, but just going back to that thing, Worrell and McCauley partnering each other tonight. Goldson not in the team. I don't know if he's on the bench, but he's not starting.
I think he's still got that problem.
Has he?
Yeah, still got the problem with his ankle.
But he's injured, so he's still got that problem. Worrell and McCauley, that's a combination I don't recall having seen.
Neither do I, and I think if Kilmarnock have got any pace whatsoever.
Well, of course, they've got Brophy.
Yeah.
They've got Jordan Jones. Let's see how popular he is tonight.
We'll see what happens with that one.
But of course, they have lost Greg Stewart.
Of course they have, and he was the man that made them tick. He was the one that came and linked up play and got in behind, wasn't he? So I think he'll be a big loss to them. But I was going to ask you, listen, I know that's the midfield that you're purring over there, Bill, the midfield, but
I just think it's a very strong midfield. I think it's got a bit of everything in there. You've got Kent, who's a runner. You've got Arfield, who grafts and got that bit of steel, the same with Jack. And I think Stephen Davis can play as the kind of conduit, if you like. He's, for me, the playmaker.
I think there'll be a wee diamond there, and I think that I think Jack will still sit, and I think he'll be the one that'll link up. But Defoe and Morelos can come short and go in behind, although I think Defoe's better than going in behind.
Well, they played a diamond on Sunday, so you could be right.
Yeah.
Sorry, who do you think? Who do you think?
I think Defoe will be the one looking to go in behind off of. So what?
Well, they played Morelos a wee bit wider.
Right. Okay.
On Sunday,
yeah.
I'm told.
Yeah.
They played him a wee bit.
The only thing I would
wider.
say about that, Bill, is you don't want to take Rangers fans don't want to take that goal threat away from Morelos, where he is kind of coming a wee bit deeper or going wider, where he still want to get him in the penalty box where he can turn guys.
I think you'll still find him going there. I think the thing with Defoe and him it'll be one of those interlinkable things.
Yeah, but then the link I'm thinking about is if one of them does come short, then that gives Arfield more of a chance to go beyond the midfield then and go and support and get into the box as well.
And Kent
as well, of course, because he's got the pace to get up and down the park. So interesting. But again, we don't like talking about it. It'll be interesting to see how they adapt playing that formation on that surface at Rugby Park, where it might be a bit tricky.
Stephen Gerrard saying today, no manager at this level wants to see plastic pitches.
I don't think any manager at any level want to play in it. Seriously, although I played in the Cracker the other night there.
Sometimes.
Oh, Jesus, don't make me laugh.
I like seeing you laugh just to see you squirm with the pain with a cracked
seriously,
rib.
Like anything else, they're improving all the time. They're improving all the time. And
Rangers are the Parks.
Well, Rangers are improving, there's no doubt about that, but the Parks are improving all the time, and Livingston's is the best yet I've seen. So it's no like Kelly's where it's maybe needing done in,
I think Kelly, though, I think Kelly to be... I think Kelly are still looking at going back to the grass next season, and I think that's why they're not doing.
I don't think their manager's particularly fond of it. The only thing they've got to do, they can train on it like other teams can't really do. They've got to find a training ground that's maybe saving the club a bit of money, but it'll be interesting to see what they think about it.
Chaz wants to know if you're still a Jags fan.
Jags fan, yes.
And he's saying, have I had a Bovril pie today? No, I haven't. But I was talking to Boulders, who's our pie man, because Ewan brought us a Bovril pie last week. Bovril pie.
What?
A steak and Bovril pie.
I wasn't here.
No, you weren't. I think it was on a Thursday he brought it in. But anyway, I told Boulders last night, and Boulders said he's going to have a crack at making them.
Right.
And I know Boulders, he likes a challenge, so I wouldn't be surprised if there's not a Bovril pie waiting when we come off here.
I was at a Thistle game a couple of weeks ago, Bill, and I got a bit of hospitality there. My mate, and it was absolutely fantastic. Although the result wasn't for them, but although they took the lead, Gary Harkins got sent off. That put the other team in the ascendancy. But it was great hospitality, fantastic. Love it.
Good.
Great. So that answers that question.
Yes, all right. Rangers at Rugby Park tonight.
Yes, I think.
What's your thoughts? I mean, obviously, Jordan Jones, we're going to have to wait and see what kind of
form he's in.
We'll see what kind of form he's in and what kind of form the fans are in.
Yeah.
Brophy, obviously, is going to have to take up a bit of the slack now that Greg Stewart's gone.
Yeah.
But Greg Stewart's going to be a big miss for them.
Absolutely. Absolutely, that was a strange one, that wasn't it? But, going back down the road and
Greg Stewart, allegedly, right? Allegedly, if you believe the stories, said he wanted to go back to Aberdeen because he had unfinished business there.
Right. Was he very good then up there?
No, he wasn't very good. He had a poor time up there.
Yeah.
Do I believe that story? No, I think it's a PR job.
Is it a case of they both made the same bids, I believe?
I think Jerry McCabe hit it in the head last night when he said, I think Aberdeen have been prepared to pay more of his wages.
Absolutely. Yeah, and I think that's swung it for them. So Derek's played a blinder there getting him up there. But, he's been doing the business with Kelly, and I've always said to you, Bill, see, sometimes you get a feeling about a club. You go, you're going to do well, you're not going to do well, depending on the players that you're with. I think Defoe going in to Rangers at the minute where Morelos is scoring goals. I think he's a proven goal scorer. I don't think he'll have any problem scoring goals. I think Brophy, who was scoring goals with Greg Stewart in the team, he maybe needs somebody else up to help him now because pressure will be on him now to get the goals for Kelly, so that's a difficult one. So you look at the two different sides.
So what's the result tonight in your mind?
I think there'll be goals with both teams. I think Rangers will win 3-1.
3-1?
Yeah.
Okay. Celtic against St Mirren at Celtic Park. We've already told you that no Boyata, Burke leading the line and Lustig back. Speaking to, as I say, Murdo on Monday, wasn't desperately impressed by Burke leading the line. I'm wondering, what Brendan Rodgers is thinking is in persevering with that.
Well, because he's a big, strong boy, 6'2". I mean, what he done was with Johnson playing him through the middle against Rangers. That was a no-no. He could have played Forrest or Sinclair through the middle because they've done it before. So he's found Burke, who isn't a centre forward. Well, he's a, as far as I know, I thought he was a strong runner, a wide player who creates more than scores. So we'll see tonight. Ewan, I know, fancies him to score a goal tonight. He could be right. It depends if St Mirren do their homework and sit in or come out and try and play. Any team that comes out and tries and plays against Celtic at Celtic Park, I think will be on to a hiding. So if they sit in, I don't think Burke will find the space again.
This is a strange one because it could turn out to be a wee bit of a bloodbath for Oran Kearney's team. Having said that, it was his first game as manager at St Mirren. We saw Nchambi sent off and it ended up in a draw. I don't think that's going to be the case tonight.
I think it's definitely Celtic Park.
I'm just kind of wondering. Listen, the boy Shved, Marian Shved, who's been linked apparently close to signing for Celtic, another midfield player.
Yeah.
What does that tell you? Does that tell you that there might be legs in the stories about in Cham going, or does it tell you? Because the team in Melbourne were saying at the end of last week they were confident they were going to get Scott Bound's signature, but I heard that was a no-go.
Well, you hear no different kind of stories, Bill, for different sources. I think they're looking at somebody there that, and Lustig comes out today and says as well, he's ready to play centre half now.
They're not exactly. Well, that
and I think he's no bad in there, to be quite honest with you.
Let's be fair. Yeah. It would be a better fit for Lustig
Absolutely.
now, in terms of his legs and in terms of the performances he's put in it right back. I mean, he's had a few roastings this season.
Out wide, and he's not been helped to the centre back and the inside him when he's been.
So that might actually be a good move.
So this is another guy. It's a right-sided guy. It's usually Celtic are linked with left-sided midfielders, but this is a right-sided guy who I believe is a wide midfielder. So is that Forrest on the move? Does Rodgers know who's getting bids in for him? Do we know who's going to be moving on?
The worry for me is that, and Brendan Rodgers did this before, and a lot of people said this was the reason he didn't get money to buy players in the summer window. The fact that Peter Lawwell had said to him, hang on a minute, you've got all these players that are sitting doing nothing in these positions that you now want to buy players for. It doesn't make economic sense. So if it didn't make economic sense then, you've got to assume it doesn't make economic sense to Peter Lawwell now. No. So you've got to think possibly it's one in, one out. Yeah,
and I believe Lewis Morgan's on the move as well, but whether it's back to St Mirren or no, I don't think Brendan Rodgers is keen in sending him back to St Mirren because, and I think he's correct when he said that he's done his bit at St Mirren. Why send him back there? It's the next level, his progression. He has to go somewhere else and learn a different side of football, Bill. So I don't believe in sending the same guy back to the same club.
Let me ask you a particularly blunt and possibly cruel question. Realistically, does Lewis Morgan have
a future
at Celtic?
I said to you, I didn't think he was good enough. To play for Celtic. But Brendan Rodgers sees him every day. Maybe sees something. Maybe if he goes somewhere down to England. I didn't have an argument, discussion with a friend of mine the other day there about that, where if he could go to Sunderland, where Jack likes him. Could he go down there? I think he's too... And I'm not taking anything away from ball players. I just think the game's too physical in England. And I think it wouldn't benefit him. That's my argument. I think there's big, strong runners down there that aren't particularly brilliant on the ball. And he's a tremendous ball player. But they can match you, Bill, physically. So yeah. I don't think that'd be a good move for him either. So I've said that about a number of Celtic players, and by the way, a couple of guys have slagged me for it, but I just think that Celtic should be looking at the next. I can't see the boy being any better than what Forrest is, for instance, with how he's come on to his game. Are they going to give him all that time? I think Forrest has had a number of years to get to a level. I can't see them giving these guys a number of years to get to the level where Forrest is at. So, is it time? Forrest is now at the top of his game. Is it time for him to move on and try something different? Is he arranging moves and things and deals in the background that we don't know about? I just know that you're right. I think it's get one in, get them out, and I know there's a number of loans.
Well, the only thing I can say is that it was a very, very strong argument that people were making, and people that know Celtic were saying the argument seems to be that there are too many players sitting around at Celtic Park getting a big wage. And Peter Lawwell's now starting to question the strategy of Brendan Rodgers buying these players in and then them sitting about the place and not actually playing for the club. And it seems to me if that was an argument then, it's an argument now. And if it's an argument now, that suggests that somebody's got to go before this boy comes in.
Well, if he comes in, he'll be the fourth in the January window.
I'm a bit concerned, if I'm honest with you, if you're a Celtic fan, you've got Lustig saying, I'll play centre-back, I'll play centre-half, which is fine. I don't have an issue with that. And there's a degree of sense in it, and I think he could do a good job there. Could he do a good job week in, week out? Not sure, but he could do a good job there. But then you've got Ralston there, and Ralston's injured just now. So you need another right-back, and they've gone to every club in Europe so far looking for a right back and come away with nothing.
I can't understand how you can.
Why would you then buy this right-sided midfielder? Surely his priority has to be a right back. And, Celtic fans will say, well, he's looking at so-and-so and looking at so-and-so.
I told you what Manser would be, didn't I? I told you Manser. Yeah, I told you.
What did you tell me?
Just play Scott Brown at right back.
Oh, well, you did say that.
I don't think many people get by Scott Brown at right back because he knows the game that well. So
yeah,
you know,
but then again, if you come up against a player running down that channel that's got pace, Scott Brown will only be able to clatter him 2 or 3 times before the game's over for Scott Brown.
yeah, but I think with his knowledge and his talking,
he's not at the
I
pace.
think as well, Bill, if and I'm just saying this, if it is Lustig that's playing the right side, he's centre back, he reads the game, because as soon as that happens, he covered. I don't think Boyata covered in the Rangers game. I don't think he covered Lustig.
I think Scott Brown has more trouble turning than Lustig does now.
Right, okay. It's just a suggestion.
And
because I just think-
if you're running at him and turning him, I don't think Scott Brown's got the nimble.
I just think
I don't think he's nimble enough
I just think
to turn.
Celtic are moving about McGregor too much, where he's very influential in that middle role, and he was
They're
successful.
saying
when
it
Brown
could
was
be
out.
March before Tierney's back in training again.
Well, they're looking for a left back.
Izagiri's there.
Well, he done
I
well on
guess.
Saturday, right enough, I think.
You know, the other option you've got at right back, and he's had bad experiences at right back, but he's had them at centre back as well, as Christopher Aya.
Yeah.
Anyway, give me a result for tonight. Celtic.
I think
against-
Celtic will be too strong. I'm going to go 3-0.
Okay, all right. Let's speak to our next guest. In fact, our final guest, Mark McGuigan from Stenhousemuir, who, a wee bit like our previous guest, Willie Lyle from Auchinleck Talbot, must still be in Cloud 9. Mark, you must still be up there, replaying in your own mind that goal that equalised for Steny against Aberdeen at the weekend.
I will. It's obviously still certainly fresh in the memory, and one that I think I said at the time I'll probably enjoy it for the rest of my days. But obviously the reaction's been good. I think we probably deserved it. We deserved the result and deserved to get the replay, and obviously to play my part in that was it was nice.
Well, your gaffer was on with us last week. He would, because we were out of him because we spoke to him when he just took over, and he said, no, I'm not hanging up the boots just yet. And then all of a sudden last week, so we spoke to Colin last week and had a good laugh, but we asked him about the Aberdeen game, and he was very pragmatic about it. He said, we'll go up there, we'll do our best, nobody will expect us to come away with anything. But look, you know, at the end of the day, you're taking them back to Ochilview, and that's something that the Dons will not particularly relish, I would think.
I'd agree. I think our approach was the same. I don't think he was telling you guys one thing and then telling us anything different. And we knew how difficult the task was going to be. I've played up there before. I played up there a couple of years ago with Stranraer, and they turned us over. And it can go that way, you know. And I think, to be honest, for us to get something, we probably needed Aberdeen not to be at their best. And I think they'll probably be honest and say they weren't. We defended really, really well. We took the chance when it came along, and like you say, we've got them back to Ochilview now, and it's an Astro pitch. It's not as big as Pittodrie, and we're hoping that the surroundings won't suit them, and we just need to make it as uncomfortable for them as we can.
But that's cup football, Mark. You know, that's what happens. You know, you took your chance.
Absolutely.
If the teams don't turn up, they don't turn up. But I'm just looking at their team at the minute, and obviously watched it the weekend. They give you total respect for playing their best players. I mean, they didn't make 5 or 6 changes, Bill, so they've definitely done that there. But I'm just thinking, when I seen the ball win, I think somebody gave the ball away on the left-hand side. And I've been watching you. Did you think, just put it in a plate? Just put it in a plate for me, because it was a cracking ball in, wasn't it?
Aye, it was a belter. It was Connor, actually. Connor Duffy. He's brought the ball out there initially, and what a touch it was. He's played a 1-2, and I think his second touch was as good, and he's ended up trying a back heel, and at that point I'm in the middle thinking the chance is gone, and you know, it's like you said yourself, you know, you only maybe get one chance, and I kind of thought it was away, but Rory's he's done, you know, what he's done for most of the season. He's defended in the front foot, and to put the ball in that he has was it was perfect, absolute dream for me, and obviously just delighted to get on the end of it and get as a result. But yeah, and I think a couple of my mates and a couple of my family were actually saying, they pointed out, they thought I wasn't looking too pleased when the ball didn't come in first time.
Well, that's right, and not only that as well, Martin. I'm not saying, I've watched you a number of times, as you know, over the years, your goals you scored last year, and you're starting to kind of motor a wee bit now. Remember, I says to you, you need to go on that goal trail, so you're starting to motor now. But what would have happened if it had been a wee bit shorter and you had to chest it down? And then you've got to think about it. You know what I mean? You've got to think about it.
Aye, you're right. I know you don't want to think about it. I'd much rather those ones where you just don't get the time to think about it. Just put it in, and then we'll do it later. But aye, I'll take them every week, hopefully.
You see, and I know this sounds a daft question, but I've spoken to players before, and they said, you know what, this does happen. You see, when it went in, did everything go into slow motion for you?
Yeah, no, it did. It actually did. And I think obviously because we took about 300 fans up, so for a club that's
That's fantastic.
good going, you know what I mean, all the way up there. So obviously the majority of the stadium's Aberdeen fans, and it fell silent, and you're almost just kind of like, the first thing I saw when I stood up was Andy Constantine with his hand in there. So I'm immediately going, I don't want to turn in here, so that linesman better know his flag up, because I didn't feel as though I was offside. And then obviously the penny eventually drops that it's stood, and after that it's just like sheer elation. But the celebrations last probably no longer than 30 seconds, then I'm asking the referee how long is it to go, and he's like, there's 19 to go, and I'm like...
longest 19 minutes of your career.
At least you weren't panicking, that's a good thing. How long is the ref?
Exactly. Well, I'm like, do us a favour, just call it now. But I actually thought we'd saw it the last 19 fairly comfortably. Aberdeen, they put us under pressure as you'd expect, but I thought we would deal with it. So, it was certainly a relief to hear the final whistle. Now, a game that we're now just going to enjoy again, hopefully.
Well, I'm just looking at the stats as well, Bill. I mean, it's incredible. I know they outgunned you with shots and target and things, but possession 50%. So, Stenny, you know, they rode the luck at times, but I think they cracked the bar as well, Mark. Am I right in saying that? Yeah. So it bounced the right way for them. So this is what you need in the cup. You know, it's
100%.
And don't forget, the last time, I think it was a good few years ago, where the old team managed to beat Aberdeen in the cup, the old Oakview. So you never know.
I think we're the only team that Aberdeen have never beaten, I think, in senior competition, something like some crazy stat like that. So we've been able to extend that record for a wee bit longer. Say how much longer we can keep it, then who knows? But we'll certainly get our best shot on Tuesday.
11 goals this season in League One. Let me just go back to what you were saying earlier on in terms of what Colin was saying to us, and you said he probably said the same things to you. What exactly was his kind of strategy and team talk for the game?
I think it was obviously deal with being organised and deal with the shape first. It was just about be difficult to beat, because I said, look, the best teams in the country got to Pittodrie and struggled, so we had to play to our strengths, and obviously we've not had the best season domestically. We've been far too easy to play against and far too easy to break down, so we wanted to address that. We actually worked really hard on it during the week in training in terms of our shape, and then it was just a case of playing our way into the game from there. And I thought we responded really well to losing a goal sort of relatively early on in 20 minutes. I mean, you've probably seen many a team do that against a better opposition and crumble. But we felt we were playing well, and the goal we lost was probably the only time we dropped a runner. So we kept ahead, and you could actually feel during the game that we were finding our feet. And as the game wears on in Aberdeen, I'm getting a bit more frustrated. We start getting a wee bit more confidence, and I think that's kind of the way it played out. The game plan probably played out perfectly to what we wanted to achieve, and I think that just comes through, the game settling down. And then, like I say, as we got a foothold in the game, don't get me wrong, it's not as if we put Aberdeen under mass amounts of pressure, but we broke on them a few times and certainly asked a few questions, and it worked perfectly. But the basis of it was certainly, shape and defending properly first. And
I think what Mark's saying as well there, as a footballer, when a bigger team feel league above you, a couple of leagues above you, one of the top teams in Scotland are not putting you away. The rumbling's starting the crowd. Mark, you probably heard a few guys, maybe a couple of comments. And by the way, honestly, see as a player, Bill, you start to get a wee bit of belief for that, Mark, don't you? You go, by the way, these guys are getting attacked with their team here, guys. We've got a chance. So when was that? Was that maybe just before half time? Did you feel as if we've got a wee chance here?
Even at half time, we didn't go in despondent at half time. I actually felt we were doing alright here. We're doing fine, and if we can sort of keep the back door shut for the first 10-15 minutes of the second half, like you say, we rode the luck a little bit with the ball hitting the bar. But like you say, the rumbling started, and it was actually one of the things that Stuart Balmer said, the assistant. He said to us before the game, he said, look, don't encourage this crowd, don't give them any encouragement at all, and because it affects players, it will affect them if they start. I think particularly after equaliser and then I think they put a couple of passes out the park, and then you could sort of see that it was maybe affecting the players a wee bit as well. And like you're saying, it has the opposite effect for us. Once we hear the home crowd getting on their backs, then we get a wee lift, and all that plays its part. You know what I mean? All that's part of the experience, I suppose. And I thought we dealt with it really well.
Mark, we had Brown on a few times over the piece. Ali and I talking to him, and we must admit we were a wee bit surprised when he went. But we had Colin on as soon as he'd been appointed. I think he'd only been appointed 2 days, and we had him on and had a word with him. And Colin's a great guy. He's very, very down to earth, very pragmatic about things. Let me ask you, because there's been a couple of management changes and I've had players that have been in amongst them. Just the same question as I've asked them. Has Colin done anything that's given you more opportunity to play the way that you want to play? You know what I'm saying? Managers have got formations, they like you to do a certain job, but sometimes they say to you, look, here's a wee bit extra freedom. Has anything changed for you?
I don't know, I think the stats would probably suggest that. I mean, I think since Colin took over, I've scored 10 and 11. So, and I actually spoke to Brown. I spoke to him just before Christmas there, and he was like, "Thanks very much. Cheers for saving your goals for after I get the sack." So he had a laugh with us about that. But I don't think there's been anything probably in particular. I think Colin, like Brown before him, kind of knows what my strengths are. I think a lot of people probably see the size and just assume you're going to be a target man, but my game's probably more about being on the move and playing on the shoulder. So he's never really like stifled me in that way. He's always kind of said, look, I want you to go and play in a way that's going to hurt defenders, and that is by kind of moving and playing on the shoulder, getting down the sides, and obviously by the way we play, probably a little bit more direct at times, and that's the idea, is to try and cause defenders problems. I wouldn't say there's been anything that stands out for me that I've now gone since Colin's taken over that I feel that I've been playing differently. It's just so happened that I've had a really rich run of form, and the same long may continue. But I to sort of answer your question, there's been nothing kind of specific that I would say has changed.
Probably a wee bit despondent actually with the results you've been having, Mark, because you've took a couple of doons here, 4-5-1, and you've been getting the goals. And you last season when you were scoring the goals, you were winning games. That's probably been the only difference this season.
I think so. You're spot on. It's a strange one to deal with. You go from the total opposite emotion of last season. You're winning regularly, and fair enough, we didn't even finish as high as we wanted to last season. Fair enough, we got promoted, but finishing fourth wasn't really what we were looking for. But at least you're there or thereabouts. And then you go to this season, and things just haven't really gone our way. But yeah, the goals are thankfully sort of still there just now. But I think, I've been saying it all along, anytime we've had a good result this season, we've always said, right, let's use it as a springboard. And if Saturday can't provide that, then nothing will. You know what I mean? It's time that we actually start putting a run of games together. And that doesn't even mean going and win 3 and 4 in a row. It just means let's just be harder to beat and avoid the doons. So hopefully if we can do that, and if I can keep scoring, some of the other boys can keep scoring as well, then I think we'll be okay.
Having said that, there's only 3 points between you, Brechin and Dumbarton, so it's not as if you're cut loose or anything like that.
Absolutely. I know. I think that's what we're saying, and we've still got heart because of that. It's it'd be very easy to be despondent just now if you're maybe, like you say, maybe 10, 11 points cut adrift. That's going to be quite a sizable task, but we're one result away from pulling Brechin and Dumbarton back level with us, and then after that anything can happen. So we're definitely not cut adrift, and we've not chucked the towel in by any manner.
And I think as well, we're looking at the form of the bottom 3 teams. Sometimes it's easy to look above you, Bill, because you've got something to go and aim for. Yeah. See these teams that are sitting Brechin and Dumbarton at the minute. I'm looking at the last 5 games, Martin. It's lost, drawn, lost. Brechin won their last game, so it's not as if they've hit a run at the same time as you're trying to do as well. So you're looking at them. If you can get a result, and by the way, you do pretty well against Airdrie, don't you? You usually get a pretty good record against them.
I've done okay against them. You're right though. It's as if like the threes are just kind of vying for position to go and somebody to go and take the bull by the horns and go and try and get a couple of results together. So hopefully we're the ones that can do that.
Absolutely.
Listen, I was talking earlier on to Darren Young about East Fife, and I'll ask you again the same question. Do you find your home form better than your away form, or are your away form better, or is it fairly kind of even Stevens at the minute, Mark?
It's probably even Stevens. I think we've had a couple of really good away results, to be fair. And likewise, we've probably not put home the advantage that we should have done with regards to our home form. But I think on the piece it's probably even Steven, I would say. We would definitely like to sort of strengthen the home form though, because for most clubs, particularly at our level, that's the kind of foundation that you base your success on. So that's something we'd like to address, but at the same time we've probably had a couple of decent away results as well, so again it probably evens itself out.
I think when you look at the goals as well, Mark, when you've started to kind of bang in the goals at the minute, they're not really getting shared about a wee bit, when you're doing it, you need somebody to give you a wee kind of hand where they're chipping in with 6 or 7 goals, and I'm not taking any away from the other players, maybe just not creating enough chances, but it's something where you look at other teams, some teams that spread the goals about a wee bit more, Bill, are the teams that are more successful.
No, but you're right, and I think that's something that's probably been spoken about as well. It's about us kind of, and that's not to say I'm leading the line. I'm the only one that's chipping in. Everyone's sort of contributing, but I think just the way the season's gone, like you say, it's probably more just down to opportunities as opposed to anything else. And, there's no for 1 minute, like there's not a lack of trying. It's not a lack of boys trying to get in the right positions, but I think when you're on the back foot as much as we have been, and that's what we're now trying to address. Obviously, it's difficult for players to take it up in support. So I think it's probably just one of those that's I'm up there and I'm the one that's the chances are falling to just now. But I dare say like one of the other boys will go on a wee run as well. And like you say, if you can get sort of 3 or 4 boys who are kind of hitting like 6 or 7 goals, then it definitely makes a lot of difference. Yeah.
One of the other things is that against Airdrie, who are in 5th at the minute, and you usually do reasonably well, you've got them at home. But after the Aberdeen result, there must be a good feeling in the camp at the minute.
Absolutely there is. It's what I was touching on earlier. It's about time that we actually take advantage of that, because we've had good feelings before us and good results, but the problem is we don't go and follow that up. So there's a really good feeling in the camp, but we've put the Aberdeen game to one side now and we're focusing solely on Saturday. And if we can go and get a good result there, then that's hopefully going to be a catalyst for what will be a good second half of the season.
Why do you think that self-belief hasn't carried through from those results that you've had?
It's hard to put your finger on, to be honest, because we don't feel as though we're miles away. We don't feel as though, obviously, Arbroath have been brilliant this year, Raith are full time, but even with those teams, we don't feel as though they're a million miles ahead of us. So it's not a case that we're in League One and we're accepting that we're not good enough. We feel as though we can compete. So it's really a difficult one. I don't know. We just can't seem to get any sort of consistency going, but it's just something that we need to try and sort. Hopefully, we can do that quickly.
Well, if you do it against the Airdrie then, because guys, don't forget we want to play the replay against Aberdeen, so the guys will be trying their best to get in that team, Mark.
You're right. I think it's probably one of those, we've got the jersey now, so we'll keep it, and with that game so kind of fresh in the mind, and there's no better incentive to go and put a performance on.
Brilliant.
It's an interesting one because we've said actually from the from the Premiership downwards this season, Mark, it's been incredible in all leagues. Yeah. There's been a lot of inconsistency for teams up and down the leagues, and you see if teams can just get 2 or 3 results to string together, they go up right. They're either just off the playoffs or they're into the playoffs. It's incredible.
I think probably, Mark, apart from Arbroath, who have been pretty consistent all through the season, I don't think there's a team that have took the bull by the horns.
I think the ban and having the bunnet in the stands probably made a big difference for Arbroath.
Aye, probably.
No comment.
Aye, some man, brilliant.
Oh, listen, we love Dick. We have him on, and you're sitting here.
He's a good man.
You're sitting here in tenterhooks. He comes close a few times, but he just manages to change the word that he was going to use at the last minute.
He's a seasoned pro at that, isn't he?
Have they been undoubtedly the best team you've played this season, Mark? Yeah.
I think so. I mean, Raith gave us a bit of a doing, but we were down to 10 men. I thought their movement was excellent the last time we played them a couple of weeks ago, but in terms of shape and organisation and just real experience across the park, I think Arbroath they're definitely deserved league leaders just now, and you'd probably be hard pushed to kind of say there's anybody going to catch them at the minute, particularly with Raith over dropping points before, but you never know.
Yeah, don't forget as well, Raith had that fantastic derby win against Dunfermline as well. That'll probably give them a wee bounce as well, So.
You're right, mate. You're right.
Well, the other thing is as well. We were talking to Dick. When was it? A couple of months ago.
Aye.
And one of the things that people forget, and Dick was saying that this Arbroath team is the best part-time team he's ever worked with. Mm-hmm. But if Dick gets promotion again this season, then that's about the 8th or 9th time that Dick's won promotion.
Yeah.
And that's a great record. Nobody can argue with that.
No,
absolutely not. I don't think anyone would. I mean, his teams, they always perform. You've said that yourself there, that the stats kind of speak for themselves. So, yeah, I don't think you can sort of question Dick's record and the way Arbroath have performed this year. I mean, I heard a lot of folks saying they're not playing particularly great, but they win. They just keep winning. So I don't think Dick will really be too keen about folk talking about style of player and that. At the end of the day, they're getting results and they're where they are and they deserve to be there.
But again, I mean, the good thing from your point of view, 3 points behind Brechin and Dumbarton, and if you can capitalise and get the feel-good factor rolling for 2 or 3 weeks and get 2 or 3 results under your belt, it changes everything.
Absolutely, yeah, you're dead right. It changes the the full view of the league, and it changes sort of our confidence levels as well, and it maybe has a few folk looking over their shoulder at us. But like you say, it's all we need to do is just now capitalise on that. It's easy to talk about it, but the time for talking's kind of long gone. It's time for us to now sort of try and put the hard work that we've put in, particularly the Aberdeen game, and we've now got a foundation to go and hopefully have a good second half of the season.
Absolutely. Fantastic.
Right, here's the stinker for you, right? Think carefully.
Right.
Think carefully, because he listens. Was Colin Wright hanging up his boots?
100%.
I knew he was going to say that.
So it's 3 years too late.
Brilliant.
Thanks, Mark. Thanks for being on with us. Good luck against Airdrie. Good luck next Tuesday against Aberdeen as well. And thanks for coming on and talking to us. Thanks a lot again. Bye-bye. Mark McGuigan there, Stenhousemuir striker, scored an equaliser. And what an equaliser it was for his team at the weekend against Aberdeen in the Scottish Cup. That replay is at Ochil View next Tuesday, the 29th. And they're at home to Airdrie this coming Saturday. It's funny how things go into slow motion. You must have had a few times like that, big man.
I'd have been balling and shouting at left. He tried a back heel and it get cut out, and then it broke for him again. He went, or somebody nipped in and stole it. The boy that crossed it, I can't remember his name. And as soon as he stole it, he was alive, and he whipped it in, and it was only going to be one winner there. But the amount of times that, and it's a bugbear of a striker, isn't it? You know how when you win a corner and they take a short one, and you've got a centre half up and all that, and it boggers away. Get the ball in the box. And that's what he done. He put it right in the box, and it was a fantastic. Because Big Lewis couldn't come for it. He was on his line ball, so it's in between the striker and the defender and the goalie. It's a perfect ball, and it's an in-swinger for the striker. And he buried it. So it was fantastic. I headed it myself. Remember Fergie used to do that when he stood and watching it. You could see his reaction. I better watch what I'm doing in my back right enough, but I'd have been proud of that header. I'd have been absolutely proud of that header. The only thing was, I thought it was just a wee bit too straight. He could have put it right in the header. The big man done a John Gordon Sinclair, no, and Gregory's girl, he dived on it when it came out. Was it in? No, it wasn't in, mate. Fantastic. What a header. Brilliant. Brilliant. And by the way, I wonder if the old East Kilbride Tony Docherty says to him, well done, East Kilbride boy. You know what I'm saying? Getting that result for us, brilliant.
Do you honestly think Tony Docherty said, well done?
Oh, yeah,
I don't.
Absolutely.
Far from it.
Brilliant.
But good to see Stenny get. Listen, they're a good club.
I got there a lot.
They're very much community-minded club. I love the chairman. I think the chairman's got a great view on football. I think he puts his head above the parapet and talks about things that a lot of chairmen will give a body swerve to. I think they're a really good club, Stenny, and I'm pleased to see them getting a wee bit of a payday.
That could be the result. That could be the result.
But kick-starts.
Maybe kick-starts.
Yeah, you just don't know.
Because you're right, it's a good wee club. I got there quite a lot, and I meet Joe Tortolano sometimes, John Phillips, guys I played football with, I'm working with the press and that, and I get a wee bit of banter with the kit man, with my how's your coot my day, and it's a great, and you talk to everybody, you know, you don't see people, you talk to every single person you can. They've got a good, no bad wee pie stall and all right enough, those.
Listen, you're getting worse than me for the pies, I'm telling you. You need to watch yourself, man.
I'm trying to play football, you keep my weight off. I'm just getting injured all the time, so you chuck that.
I know.
Absolutely need to.
Do you know what one of the best parts about the show's been tonight? You laughing and me watching you cringe as you're doing it.
I know.
A wee bit of team news, other team news from Celtic. Right. Scott Bain picked over Craig Gordon.
Do you know something? See that 19-second force save he done against Airdrie? Incredible saves. I wonder what would have happened if I'd went in. One each. I was sitting watching it with my mates. And the first one, the second one, he blocks it again, then he's up. Incredible. And you know what? I think he's ready. I think he's ready to stake his claim. I do. I think he's ready to stake his claim as a keeper. I think he's a fantastic goalkeeper.
Is he a big occasion goalkeeper, though?
I think, do you know what? He's not as tall as Gordon. I think he's better with the ball at his feet. I think he's just as good as a shot saver.
He certainly looks as confident.
He's a confident guy
when he's in goal.
And I'll tell you, that was, Bill, you watch that save again, and it's absolutely incredible save. I mean, that's one each at the time.
Yeah.
And then the game could go like Stenny, could go anyway.
All right, let's go to Rugby Park. Kelly against Rangers. Our man there, John Brodie. Mr. Brodie, how are you?
Good evening, Bill. It's a lovely night, a nice crisp night here in Kilmarnock. I'm very well, and I'm looking forward to this.
Well, we got the team through earlier on, John, and it looks like Rangers are going 4-4-2. Is that what you're hearing?
Yes, that's exactly what we're hearing. The only doubt we had was we thought it possibly could be 4-3-3 because Kent might play wide on the left-hand side, but the general consensus seems to be at the moment 4-4-2.
Okay, all right. I was waxing lyrical about the midfield. I think it's a great midfield with Jack Davis, Arfield and Kent.
Yeah, you've got pace in there, you've got legs in there, and you've got experience in there. Stephen Davis, I know he's not played a lot this season, but he's got bags of experience. You don't lose class overnight, and I think he'll be a very good addition to the squad. And I know you're probably going to ask about Defoe, and that's exactly what I feel about him as well. There's goals in him. He might be a wee bit rusty, but I'm sure Rangers have worked on him and tried to get him as sharp as they can for this game.
John,
they wouldn't have put him in.
Yeah,
they wouldn't have put him in, Bill, if he wasn't ready.
Yeah, let me ask you one last question before you do your bit, and then Mr. Graham can ask you stuff after that. How's the park looking?
Actually, it looks okay. It's an artificial surface, as you know. I don't think it's the best of the artificial surfaces, but you know, I've seen it looking worse, and I think at this stage of the season it's actually holding up quite well.
All right, you do your bit, John. We'll come back and talk to you in a minute.
Thanks, Bill, and good evening, everyone. Welcome to Rugby Park for tonight's Ladbrokes Premiership tie, where Kilmarnock face Rangers. This is a top-of-the-table clash. Kilmarnock are sitting third in the table. They're only 1 point behind Celtic and Rangers. They're on a great run of form with only one defeat in 10 matches. And Steve Clarke's men have progressed to the last 16 of the Cup, and they have only had one defeat in 9 league matches against tonight's opponents. The gaffer, however, has made 6 changes to the side that beat Forfar Athletic. He starts with Backman in goal, O'Donnell, Scott Boyd, Finlay, Taylor, Power, Dicker, Shibboleth, Jones, Burke and Brophy. Stephen Gerrard's men, well, they're unbeaten in the last 6 domestic fixtures. They lie second in the table on goal difference. But they had the postponement of their 4th round cup tie. It's now 25 days since their last competitive fixture, although they won a friendly at the weekend against HG Helsinki at Ibrox. Mr. Gerrard has made 3 changes to the side that beat Celtic. He starts with McGregor in goal, Tavernier, Worrell, Macaulay, Halliday, Jack, Davis, Arfield and Kent, Defoe and Morelos. Tonight's referee is Don Robertson. These sides have met twice already this season. There was a league draw at Ibrox and a Rangers victory in the League Cup here in August last year. A win for either side would keep the pressure on leader Celtic, and it might even see them top the table if results went their way. So everything to play for then. And this is John Brodie for Rock Sport Radio at Rugby Park, where Kilmarnock take on Rangers.
John, just before you go, John, looking at Kilmarnock's side, where we've got Brophy up top, what's the general feeling amongst, does MD say then about obviously Greg Stewart moving on? He's now the linchpin, he's going to get the pressure where he's have to score goals. Are they a wee bit concerned about that?
Yeah, I think the general feeling is that people are actually a bit mystified as to why Stewart made the decision he did. They thought he was very happy here. I've spoken to the guys from Kilmarnock TV, and the word they've been getting is that they understood that because Kilmarnock had matched the same guys as Aberdeen, that they thought they were in with a great chance of getting them. Yeah. There has been a wee rumour that Greg Stewart and Derek McInnes have got the same agent. I don't know whether that's got anything to do with it. But certainly the pressure's all on Brophy. Although Burke's been scoring goals, and of course Jordan Jones, you would hope that he would want to show the Kilmarnock fans the best of him before he leaves for Ibrox next season. There's already been some activity there, obviously, with Stephen Clarke coming out and saying, if you boo Jones, you boo me, because at the end of the day, I'm the guy that picks him. Yep. So it'll be interesting to see how the Kilmarnock fans react to him tonight.
All right, John, thanks for that. We'll be back with you. I think we're back with you full time, no half time tonight, but we'll be back with you full time. John Brodie, our man at Rugby Park, for Kelly against Rangers. Are you still sticking with your prediction based on what John said?
Yeah, I think. I think Rangers are going for it, aren't they, with the formation? I think they've got goal scorers in the team. I just worry a wee bit that with Stewart out the Kilmarnock team. But I know Brophy can score.
I don't think Kurt Broadfoot's playing tonight either. I think he's injured.
He's not playing.
So, from that point of view, that's a bit of a blow as well. He's usually fairly steady.
Yeah.
And especially against Rangers, he seems to put in a performance, obviously being an ex-Rangers player.
Yeah.
But it's going to be an interesting one, that is for sure.
Kilmarnock have got plenty of height in there, obviously, as well, with Dicker and
I just worry about... I tell you what I worry about in terms of, if you like, the Davis factor, the Defoe factor, and even Morelos, is the park, the artificial surface.
Yeah.
I'm not sure that it suits the three of them particularly.
Well, I thought that the last time they went down there, Bill, they won convincingly.
Yeah,
so
that's true.
I'm not holding, and I think the score was 3-1 then as well. So that's what I've said tonight again.
All right, let's go to Tynecastle and speak to Brian Rayburn. Brian, how are you? Is it looking a decent crowd there at Tynecastle tonight?
The crowd is building. There are a lot more bodies in here than there appeared to be on Sunday for the cup tie anyway, so a bit of atmosphere. The pitch looks A-OK. The air temperature, as you could anticipate, not exactly warm, but never mind. Hopefully what happens on the pitch will keep us warm this evening.
Brian, you've got a situation with Craig Levein where he gets one back and loses one. John Souttar, we believe, is on the bench tonight, but Stephen Naismith suspended.
That's correct. I'll go through the team lines if you wish then.
Yeah, that's fine. Fire away.
You're spot on. Yeah, OK. Well, good evening from Tynecastle. Hearts and Dundee return to league business after weekend cup ties. Hearts progressed in the Scottish Cup with a 1-0 win over Livingston and will be looking to make 3 league wins in a row to climb back up the table from their present 5th spot. Craig Levein's Hearts starting 11, as we already alluded to, has some changes. In a 4-3-3 formation, we've got Doyle in goal. At the back, Smith, Shaughnessy, Berra and Mitchell. In the middle, Lee, Clark and Doom. Up front, Vanacek, Keena and Morrison. 2 changes, as we said. Mitchell and Keena starting. Garuccio and the suspended Naismith out. Dundee, they're returning to league action without a win since the 5th of December and desperately in need of points to rise from their lowly basement position after their 1-1 draw against Championship Queen of the South in the Scottish Cup. Dundee therefore takes a replay at Palmerston, adding to their challenges. So Jim McIntyre's Dundee line up to start the recovery process is in a 4-4-2 formation. Dieng in goal with Kerr, Ralph, Kasunga and Innes at the back. Woods, McGowan and Craig Curran and Jesse Curran in midfield, and up front starting is Dales and Nelson. That's 2 changes from the weekend, with Dales and Nelson starting, Deacon and Miller dropping to the bench. Our match referee is Mr. Beaton for what represents an important game for both sides as they enter the second half of the season. This is Brian Rayburn for Rocksport Radio here at Tynecastle, where in the Premier League, Hearts face Dundee.
OK, Brian, have you got anything for Brian before he goes out?
No, I think that Dundee are toiling a wee bit. They've only scored 15 goals this season. I'm just wondering where you think Dundee are going to be able to get the goals from, because they're struggling at the minute.
Oh, they are. That's a very good question. Well, when you look at it, Miller's sitting on the bench and he's the man that scored most of their goals with 7. They've brought Dales and Nelson in up front. I mean, Nelson, well, he had his spell with Falkirk. He got a few goals, but there's a lot of pressure on their shoulders, so it's a good question. It'll be something interesting to see how it happens. We'll also see if John Souttar gets on just to snuff them out even later on.
All right, Brian, thank you for that. Back with you at full time. Let's go straight to New Douglas Park. We've got Aberdeen as the visitors there tonight. Bob Smith's our man. Bob, I guess one of the things that's going to be a wee bit controversial tonight is just the amount of abuse that Martin Canning got at the weekend, and his dad obviously getting caught up in it as well. Hamilton fans are really got it in for Canning at the moment.
Well, I don't want to sort of use a pundit, I will, but, it's all guns blazing when you really think what Martin Canning's going through. And, we're talking about stats in this business, and the stats are that, he joined the club 215, it's kept him up, and think of the income that he's been able to generate, but also think of the expenditure that's not going out the door. So he's done a tremendous job, and he did come out and he showed a wee bit of muscle, I would suggest, last night, because in the papers today he was saying that, wait a minute, look at the players that we have lost, 6 players going to top clubs and earning us the money. So from that point of view, he then sort of come in with a comparative. You get me any manager in that league that could do what I have done. He said, no, I'm satisfied. And it's about time as well, Bill, he did come out, because, there's been so many different hints, even on television as well, where we goes at him, etc., etc. But he's done a fabulous job, and you see him any interview after a defeat where they maybe just lost in the last minute. He's got good composure and he's got good respect, and even in the media room, which counts for obviously ourselves, a total gentleman, and a lot of other managers aren't like that. So yeah, and from that point of view, it's good to see that he's held his head up. And who's to say what can happen tonight?
Bob, I've got to be honest with you. I like Martin Canning. It was when Alec Neil went, it was a hard pair of shoes to step into. And Martin himself said at the time he didn't think he was ready for it and didn't really want the job. I think one of the things that's helped him is that for the first 2 or 3 seasons, the squad that he had grew up with him. As he grew into the job, they grew into a team, and I think they kind of helped each other there. But, he said the other day, and he's absolutely right, his job's to keep them in the Premier League, and he's done that successfully, as you've pointed out.
Well, you're bang on, and, you talk about the young lads' development. They've got one of the top development academies in Scotland, and as you say, you go back to maybe 2009 or so, the 2 players obviously that went down south, and from that point of view, earned Aki's close on £1 million. And from the point of view, he got them in a very safe position financially. So, no, he's done a great job, but the name of the game. Sometimes they will reckon that change is good, but you get me any manager who would like to come in and see a paltry turnout of fans, maybe 1,500, ain't the greatest, and yet he keeps that resolve going. So all credit to him, Bill.
You fire away with the team lines if you would, Bob.
Yes, I will. For Aki's then, in goals, it's Fulton, McGowan, McMahon, Gordon, Kilgallen, Emery, Davis, Miller, Taua, Gojic and Andrew. For Aberdeen, Lewis in goals, and it's Logan, Shinnie, Considine, McKenna, Stewart, Mackay-Stephen, Cosgrove, May, Ferguson and Lowe. Our match official tonight is Greg Aiken. And this is Bob Swins for Rock Sport Radio at the Hope CBD Stadium, Hamilton v Aberdeen.
Cheers, Bob. Back with you at full time. Let's catch up with the pre-match stuff up in Perth. Our man there, Peter Hay. Peter, how you doing?
Not too bad, Bill. Thanks very much. It feels like the Arctic here. Don't know what it's like in Glasgow, but
roasting in here.
Well, I got to be honest with you. Where I live, just outside Falkirk, it's at a fairly high elevation, and I took the dog out for a walk this morning, came back, and was convinced it was the coldest night we've had of the winter so far. It was Baltic, Peter.
It's certainly that still here. It's been bright and sunny, but I don't think the temperature's risen above freezing all day, to be honest.
Well, what's the park looking like?
It's not bad, actually. It's got wee kind of patches of frost, but because there's undersoil heating, it's actually pretty good. But you've got these little kind of it's not green; it's sort of grey-green, that kind of... You know what I mean.
Peter, can I ask you quickly before you give us the teams, what's the crowd looking like so far coming in?
To be honest, it looks pretty poor.
Yeah.
I suspect that a Wednesday night in January, this temperature, this is an advert for summer football, if ever there was one. I'd be surprised if we break 2,500 tonight.
I'd see that for me is heartbreaking, especially on the run that St Johnstone have been on. They've had a great season, and Livy have also been a revelation because everybody thought they might be the whipping boys, and they haven't turned out to be. And both these teams deserve to be followed in a far more substantial way, in my view.
Here.
Yeah, I think
all of us.
I think as well, Peter, this is the first time in about 16 years in the top flight they've met each other, so quite an intriguing encounter ahead.
I think it's 17, actually.
17,
I think
there you
it's
go.
2002, the last time they met in the top flight at McDermott Park. Yeah. It's just a shame. I mean, you look at the Hamilton crowd on Saturday, the crowd against Hamilton, and that was under 2,500. Yeah. And as I say, I don't think it'll get that high tonight.
We'll let you do your stuff, and we'll come back to you in just a minute, Peter.
Okie dokie. Right. Well, now, recent recruit from Partick Thistle, Chris Erskine, is starting up front for Livingston tonight. He's up in for the injured Dolly Menga, and Ricky Lamy starts as well. So the Livingston team looks like this: Kelly in goal, a back three of Gallagher, Halkett and Lithgow, two wing backs, we think, Lamy and Lawless, and then a central three of Sibbald, Pittman and Byrne, and up front Erskine and Ryan Hardy, the loanee from Rangers. St Johnstone just make one change from the team that beat Hamilton on Saturday. Murray Davidson returns from injury much quicker than anybody expected, to be honest. Chris Kane drops to the bench, where he will find Michael O'Halloran, who signed for the third time last week for St Johnstone from Melbourne. So Saints look, they are going 4-4-1-1. And they go with Xander Clark in goal, Foster, Kerr, Shaughnessy and Tanzer across the back. A midfield four of Wotherspoon, Davidson, Craig and Callahan, with, I suspect, Kennedy sitting just behind Watt. But the numbers could be slightly different. It could be Craig sitting behind Watt and Kennedy out wide. But both of them have played in that position, so we're not entirely sure which one's going where. The referee here tonight is Andrew Dallas. This is Peter Hay for Rock Sport Radio at McDermott Park, where we're looking forward to St Johnstone versus Livingston.
You get anything for Peter before he goes out?
No, just interesting, Peter, obviously, that the Livingston, I just see Halkett made it. I didn't think he was going to be playing tonight.
He caught a bad one near the end of the game.
So that'll be a big boost to them, I presume. Plus as well, don't forget Hardy's.
That's right. And
Hardy's banging in the goals as well, with 4 or 5 goals in December, so...
That's right. And Gallagher, I think there was a doubt about Gallagher as well. So those three, Gallagher, Halkett and Lithgow, started the game, I think I'm right in saying, against Hearts on Sunday. So they'll be pleased to be able to sort of have a settled defence.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Peter, speak to you at full time. Thanks again, Peter Hay there, our man at McDermott Park. Ali, I'm going to bang on about this. There's no way that I'm going to let this go. You see this situation with both Livy and St Johnstone, it is criminal in my mind that they don't get the support that I think they deserve for a couple of reasons. They've both got great little stadiums. They really have. You know, they're both, if you like, okay, St Johnstone particularly stand alone. I know they're on Tayside and you're only, 25 miles away from Dundee or whatever. But, Perth's got its own identity. It's a city in itself. And I think they should get more of a support. Livy, how many times do people complain about, you just support the big teams and all the rest of it? They've got all round there, Livingston, they've got Bathgate, they've got areas around there, Blackburn and things like that. Yeah. You've got to say to yourself, guys, get out and give your team the support they deserve. They're Premier League teams in Scotland, and they're doing extremely well. Yeah, absolutely. And it's not a million years ago that the two of them won major trophies, Bill. And the towns turned out for them at that particular time as well, Yeah, but that's the annoying bit. The annoying bit is they all drop out the woodwork when they're in a cup final or some sort. Yeah, and that is the annoying bit. This business of, look, we'll go when it's a cup final. It's a big day out. These 90-minute specialist fans. Absolutely annoys me. And it's not as if St Johnstone are now a fixture in the Premier League. Listen, St Johnstone have had one of the best runs of form in the league this season. Yeah, and they are, as I said, a team that are in there on merit now, Bill. The manager's been working wonders with them for a number of years. He did get that trophy for them. They're a team now that are in there, and they should be getting at least 4,500, 5,000 fans every week. Crazy. Absolutely crazy. It was only Livingston get big crowds at the playoff situation there. They're getting crowds coming in. They've got their own wee banded supporters, but you're right, they live in an area where an extra 200 or 300 people could come for these wee towns to support them and go and watch them, because they've got a magnificent stadium as well. And I was through there during the week and we were saying that, look at this is fantastic wee arena. It is. It's a great little ground.
Yeah.
I mean, I used to go to Livy quite a lot. Obviously, it's not as easy for me to do it now.
Yeah.
But, I used to go to Livy quite a lot. It's a great ground. I used to work next door to it when I worked for a radio station that was in I think the building's gone now, but it was right next door. I think it was, we used to do a lot of work with Livy.
And it warmed them up for the start of the season.
But here's the thing, Livy were going to go into extinction at one point, and then the fans rallied round, and they made a kind of a kind of concerted effort to save the team. But the problem? The problem for me is that if you're going to make that effort, you've got to keep the support. You've got to keep the continued support so that the club doesn't find itself in that situation again. I'm not saying it's anywhere near that. It's on an even keel, certainly financially. But that's because of the efforts of the board and the players and what they've delivered and the management team. It's got to be recognised, and it deserves to get some kind of recognition.
It's annoying, especially because they're doing so well.
2 nights in a row I've gone off in a rant.
But because, we bummed them up for the start of the season. We watched them come through the Championship and getting into the Premier League.
They've had back-to-back promotions,
we believed in them. Why is it people for the tune not believing in them and turning up and going to watch them play?
Back-to-back promotions. I don't know what Livy fans want from Livy.
No.
And it's the same with St Johnstone.
Yeah.
I don't know what St Johnstone fans expect. Tommy Wright has done a phenomenally good job at McDermott Park.
Yeah. They're 7 points off the top 3.
It's crazy.
I totally agree with you. I mean, it's nonsense, but, he's right. Maybe it's freezing cold tonight. They don't. But that's not just the answer. It's consistent.
Well, that's something we'll talk about again at another time.
Yeah.
But a couple of tweets that have come in. Get the feeling this game could see the lowest attendance ever in Scotland's top division.
I wouldn't disagree with that.
And that's David Nimmo saying that.
Yeah.
That's just crazy.
Yeah.
Chaz has just sent us one. Bill, when Livy were at home against Hibs and Hearts, their fans couldn't fill it. Shocking, only along the road.
Yeah.
Makes you wonder, doesn't it? Listen, let's go to Motherwell Hibs, because we've got a few fixtures to get through before the end of the programme. Motherwell Hibs at Fir Park tonight.
You know what? I think there's goals in that. I think there always is goals in that. We don't know what way they're going to play. I think Robinson's going to start going a wee bit more direct. He's come under a wee bit of pressure recently, hasn't he?
He's in a situation now where he's got to start getting results, and if winning ugly's the way you do it, then that's the way you do it, Ali.
I think they've gained a lot of their success. Don't get me wrong. You start the game on the front foot, and
all managers want to play football. It's not always practical.
You can start the game like that. Once you get a foothold in the game, then you can start to pass the ball. The important part is to win the battle first. Would Hibs fancy it if they turned it into a battle? I don't think Hibs would particularly fancy it, Bill. But if Hibs can get on the ball early and start to play their passing game, I think Motherwell will find it very difficult. But he has to try and find a way. Like a couple of seasons ago when Motherwell were getting to cup finals and things, it wasn't all brilliant football. It was in your face, let's get the ball forward, let's back it up. And I thought they were tremendous when they were doing that. But they seem to have lost that. I know they've lost a couple of players.
Here's something that's a wee bit worrying, because for me, this is one of those things where Stephen Robinson has to get results now, and he has to get them fairly quickly.
Yeah.
Ross McCormack played the weekend, didn't play particularly well, I hear. He's on the bench tonight.
Well, he's no fat, is he?
So,
But, I don't know the ins and outs, the money side of things. Could have went and get somebody or 2 people on the same wage as he's getting. I think I watched him, as I say, I watched Australian football. He was tremendous down there when he was on loan. He's scoring free kicks, penalties. But he's not going to be running about all the park trying to get you in behind her. That's what he does. He's tremendous at dead ball situations. And seemingly had a bit of stinker on Saturday, so that's why he's out of the team. But I think Hasty scored a goal. Young boy was on loan to Airdrie. He's back in again. And they're pretty solid at the back, Bill. But they have to believe and they have to build on or try and play the way they played at the end of last season and the season before, because I think, I'm fed up with Motherwell, watching Motherwell against Celtic and Rangers, Bill.
Yeah.
And playing out their skin.
Well, can I just stop you there? Because as you know, we had someone on from the Motherwell, Trust on. and I got pelters for being rude to him, as did Jerry Collins, because we said that why can't Motherwell maintain the same level of performance and up their game against everybody as they do against Rangers and Celtic, and it ended up in a bit of an acrimonious social media spat where even Alan Burrows got involved, and Alan and I had a late night, early morning, if you like, discussion about this, and I had to end up by saying, look, up in your performance doesn't guarantee you that you'll win. They started quoting all these statistics about results. It wasn't about the results and the results you got against the Old Firm. It's the way you played against them, the performance level. And they insisted there was no up into the game.
All right, okay then. Well, I don't see them every week. Can I just tell
you
them
and
something?
I haven't spoken about this.
I know, I've got Motherwell friends that Motherwell support Motherwell, and that's the exact same thing they're saying. That's what they're saying. So
they're saying
they had a different game.
They're saying that they don't...
than Burrows and whoever.
Right. Well, you and I haven't discussed this.
No, absolutely not, no.
Previously,
No.
I don't know if you saw the discussion on social media, but we haven't discussed it. We haven't spoken about it. Interesting that you bring up exactly what we brought
It just so happens, Bill, as well, that I see the games on the TV because they're highlighted on the TV.
Maybe that's part of the problem with Motherwell at the minute, is that they're in denial.
Well, I don't know. I'm just saying to you, if they give the effort and put in the work rate and effort that they do when they play the Old Firm, they make it difficult for the Old Firm. You're not going to tell me that they're not going to beat, Hamilton Accies or Livingston's by playing that way. And don't get me wrong.
Or even St Johnson's.
Don't get me wrong. The performance, for Celtic this season hasn't been brilliant, but they were tremendous against Celtic. Absolutely tremendous against Celtic. They scored a late leveller. I know there's a bit of controversy where there could have been a PK or whatever.
First game against Rangers.
Tremendous.
They did all right in the first half against Rangers.
Yeah.
And from that point of view, it was just when Rangers got into it in the second half, they collapsed.
Yeah.
They handed it to Rangers in the second half at Ibrox.
So, I just think where they are, Lanarkshire Club, they're in amongst where Celtic and Rangers fans, not too far for it. The good atmosphere at the park. There's always a great atmosphere there when the Old Firm go. And the players were up for it. I didn't deny them to tell me the players aren't up for the playing against Celtic and Rangers.
What do you think the result's going to be?
I think that'll be a high-scoring game, Bill. And I'm going to go, I think it'll be 3-2 Hibs.
Okay, all right. Hamilton against Aberdeen, and we've spoken about Martin Canning and the pelters he gets. This is a difficult match.
Well, I didn't come in. We didn't come in that one, but you're right, because I worry about Hamilton's disciplinary. The last time they
got Tony Andrew back.
Good player. But every time they play against Aberdeen, they get man sent off. They seem to get red cards. Also, Aberdeen as well. I think big Stockley up front, who was banging him in December. I think the break came at a wrong time for him, Bill, because he's on a run, and we were critical of him at the start of the season. Cosgrove, sorry, Stockley's away. Cosgrove is now banging in the goals, and I think the break just came at the wrong time for him, because I think he's a big handful, and I think he could score tonight.
Okay. What do you think the score
I think the score will be 2-0 Aberdeen.
All right, Hearts against Dundee. Dundee have brought a few in, but of course they've lost Andrew Davis, haven't they? 10 weeks with a broken foot in a bounce game.
Seems to be going
this
wrong.
Is a huge blow for Jim McIntyre.
Yep.
I said last night to Jerry McCabe, who knows the club better than both of us put together, Ali, my worry for Jim McIntyre is that I think they're starting to run out of road.
I think they are, and I think he's trying to get players in now that are coming into a club that are, you can either get a kick-on effect for it, Bill, or it goes the other way. Guys are coming into a club where you're on a downward spiral and there's no confidence, and I've been there. I know what it's like to play with a club where there's no confidence, and you're looking for guys to get a wee lift, and you're trying to get the lift and you can't get one, so it's going to be difficult. But Hearts are one of these teams, I know, that need to find their early season form. I know a lot of injury problems. Naismith's out again, he seems to be the guy that makes them tick. But
the other thing is as well, and I don't know whether it's going to kick him into action, but there's been a lot of mixed feeling about Sean Clare. That's a boy they expected a lot of, and I think Craig Levine expected a lot of him. I think the boy himself expected a lot of himself. it's not happened. He's been in and out of games, up and down like a fiddler's elbow. Yep. Got the goal on Sunday. Yep. Lovely layoff from Vanacek, who again looks a yard off the pace for me at the minute.
Look fit enough, yeah.
But a lovely layoff. He took the ball and he put it in the back of the net with great aplomb.
That might be just something that could kick him.
That's the point I was going to make. It may just be the thing that changes a boys' season.
Because I've seen him a lot, and although he looks a wee bit timid at times, I don't know if you agree with me there, he looks a wee bit kind of...
I think sometimes, for me, he's very inconsistent. Sometimes he looks as if
balance
he's no
is
up
tremendous.
for it, and then other times he makes these clattering challenges which are just absolutely reckless.
Yeah, but his balance is... I mean, he's got a tremendous left foot, he's got great balance, so... This could be the wee catalyst for him. I think I like to see guys coming up and doing well, but I don't like to see them failing, you know. Young guys come up, shows what you've got. I think, and by the way, Big Levine's sticking by him, so he must be doing things right in training. So I think that's a tough one to call tonight, Bill. You know, I know you're going to ask him to score, but I don't think there'll be a lot of goals in that. I think it'll be 1-0 Hearts.
Right, okay.
I'm going to go 1-0.
Finally, St Johnstone Livy. By the way, the lowest we've had at a Premier League match in Scotland, I believe. Was that a Premier match? Or is it just a let me just...
By the way, if you enjoy that, Gretna involved.
Yeah.
Gretna against Hamilton Accies.
No.
St Johnstone.
No, Gretna against Inverness Cally. Thistle 2008. Attendance of 431.
431.
Yeah.
You get Merritt Newlandsfield Pollock, didn't you? You get double that, 700 and 800. So there you go. I'm not surprised at that.
Can I take a quick break before we do the St Johnstone Livy one? Do you mind? Let's do a break and we'll come back.
If you're a fan of Scottish junior football, then Just the Juniors is a must-listen for you here on Rock Sport Radio. Nobody brings you more or better coverage of the junior game on radio than Bill Kilgour and John Redmond. Unrivaled knowledge, interviews with the managers, players and people who run junior football in Scotland. Every Friday, 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. is when you can hear Scotland's flagship junior football show. Make sure you're listening. Just the Juniors on Rock Sport Radio.
You know the feeling. You're at work and all of a sudden you fancy something, but you're not sure what. You go to the vending machine and nothing. It's empty. Sound all too familiar? Go Vending supply fully serviced vending machines to buy or lease, and that means fully serviced. Vending machines, water coolers and coffee machines are all available. Whatever your needs, wherever you are in central Scotland. Call Go Vending on 01294 279 536 or visit our website govending.co and speak with the vending experts. Go Vending!
We're proud to announce that BetVision are now the official betting and gaming partner of Rock Sport Radio. Enter a world of gaming that you won't believe with a fresh visual style. Go to our website, rocksportradio.co.uk and see what BetVision has to offer. Rock Sport Radio and BetVision, our new official betting and gaming partner. Please gamble responsibly. Over 18s only. And remember, when the fun stops, stop. For more, visit gambleaware.co.uk.
When you need a number, just call the telephone detective, Miss Maureen 118212.
Faster than a speeding handbag.
Maureen Directory Inquiries.
Maureen
118212. Calls cost $4.49 per call, plus $4.49 a minute with a minimum 1 minute charge, plus your phone company's access charge.
Love music. Live sport. Talking football with Bill Young and Ali Graham on Rock Sport Radio.
Let me just go back very quickly to Liam Telfer, who's a Jambo. He says a lot of expectation is on Clare at Hearts. Maybe the pressure of that expectation is affecting his game. I'm sure if people stop expecting so much, he'll relax and he will reach that expectation level. Now, here's the thing. If you play for somebody like Hearts, you've got to be able to take that level of expectation. Hearts are a big club with a great tradition, and from that point of view, if you're going to come to a club like that, you've got to be able to wear the jersey and deal with that level of expectation.
I can agree with him a wee bit, you know, because Bill, there's expectation levels at every single football ground now, you know, so whether you're 431 Inverness against Gretna or 17,000 at Tynecastle tonight, they want to see you winning and they want to see you playing well. So
absolutely,
you've got to take that on your shoulders.
You want to give me your thoughts on St Johnstone Livy now?
1,231. The crowd?
No, the game. You pudding.
Well, I think something's happened. Rangers have scored. Rangers are 1-up.
Jermaine Defoe.
Is it?
I don't know.
Well, I don't know. Don't tell me. Just Rangers have scored.
You're telling me.
No, but doesn't he tell you the goal scorer?
Rangers are a goal up already.
Yeah.
Good God.
Yeah. So, no, I think St Johnstone tonight are going really well. Livingston, I think Halkett being back in, Bill, is a big thing, a big ask, because if Gallagher and Halkett are out, then that's a back four all season.
Mm-hmm.
And they're a big part of that. So, I think it's a big thing for them to be playing. But I think St Johnstone are going really well at the minute. And I think St Johnstone can get that one, so I'm going to go for a 1-0 win, St Johnstone.
Okay. That's what's your thoughts on that early goal from Rangers?
Well, I don't know who scored it yet, but
no, I'm just thinking that scoring after.
I'll tell you, it's the Jermaine Defoe, 12 minutes.
Told you, didn't I? And I don't know. I've not got
so many guys in a punt on that. That's his first goal on that. So he obviously likes Kilmarnock's Park.
He obviously likes Rangers even more.
Well, there you go.
There you go. So Jermaine,
good start for him. Absolutely fantastic start.
Apparently it's a wee bit of a scrappy one.
Doesn't matter, he's there.
They all count, and it's him on the score sheet. And can you imagine what Rangers fans are doing just now?
Well, sell Morelos.
No, I don't think they're doing that.
No.
But, they'll be going absolutely crazy.
Yeah, well...
What you've got to do if you're Steve Clarke now, though, is get your team to settle down. The one thing I've always been very, very impressed with is even when they go behind, how level-headed Killie stay, and they never consider themselves out of the game. I was so impressed with them that game last season against Hibs when they went 2-0 down at Rugby Park.
Yeah, absolutely. So they've got to kind of hang on there.
What Rangers have got to do now is really push them for the next 10-15 minutes.
Really try and put them away.
Yeah.
So Celtic are 1-up as well against
Celtic are 1-up. Who's the scorer for that? Have you got that?
No telling us now.
I've got real concerns for St Mirren tonight. I really do.
It's early doors, isn't it? You don't want to be losing a goal after 10
I can see this being 4 or 5 at Celtic Park.
I said 3-0, didn't I?
Yeah, I can see it being 4 or 5 at Celtic Park. I really could, to be honest with you, mate. The Killie game, I didn't think Rangers would go up as quick as this.
No, I thought they'd just kind of find their feet a wee bit. Did you know on the surface? But if you say it's a scrappy goal, it must have been a free kick or a corner into the box, and he's been alive in the box. He's put it away. So
somebody's just said, Bill, the other tenants in my close are shouting, I think I know who they support now. Well, I don't, because Celtic have scored and Rangers have scored, so I've no clue.
At the same time.
But I'm going to go out and drive home and listen to the radio and see what I can see from there, if I possibly can. It's gone. That's it. It's Ollie Burt's the scorer, by the way. So
there you go. You're running behind.
We were talking about him leading the line and saying it didn't work at the weekend.
You said it'd score.
It's worked tonight. You and our producer did say Ollie Burt would score tonight. So there you go.
Brilliant.
Just remember, nobody likes a smart Alec. So that's it. It's gone quickly, as always. We'll be back with you next week. Hope your ribs better.
So they are, absolutely.
And that's it for me. I'll be back tomorrow night. David McKinnon makes a welcome return.
Live Sport. Talking football with Bill Young and Ali Graham on Rock Sport Radio.